Chapter 2793. Originally, a martial artist like Mo needed to become the most. It was a pity that he couldn't withstand Ling Xiao's provocation and became a lunatic. He was embarrassed by Ling Xiao the first time he attacked. It was no wonder that Mo would go crazy. After all, in his opinion, he was much stronger than Ling Xiao. Before Ling Xiao came back, he vowed that he hoped that Ling Xiao could live and be defeated by him. At that time, he was full of confidence and had the demeanor of an expert. But reality gave him a blow. It would be unreasonable if he didn't go crazy. Kill! 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 The demonic shadow's eyes were blood red due to anger. I'll let you see my strongest skill. Immortal grade, second heaven martial skill. 72 paths, shadow killing sword. As Mo Ying's attack began, the two daggers in his hands were as fast as the wind, as fast as lightning, and as crazy as crazy. And one sword after another. Each sword revealed a fatal and ruthless aura. Each sword was faintly discernible. To be honest, ordinary martial artists wouldn't be able to withstand such an attack. Because they couldn't see the opponent's sword shadow, they couldn't block it. No matter what strategy they used, they couldn't avoid the ending of being seriously injured. But to use such a boring trick to deal with Ling Xiao, it was really showing off one slight skill in front of an expert. Don't forget that Ling Xiao's understanding of the shadow ultimacy was stronger than anyone in the Black Tortoise continent, including those experts in the Immortal Palace. In terms of pure understanding and application of the shadow ultimacy, they couldn't be compared to him. Is this your strongest move? It's really too boring. To be honest, although your cultivation has reached the first turn of 12 levels of hell, your strength is far too weak compared to the Thunder Supreme. You haven't even learned the basics of the 12 levels of hell. Ling Xiao let out a long sigh. As he spoke, Ling Xiao suddenly spread his legs and took a deep breath. In the direction of Mo Ying's attack, he opened his mouth. Roar! Tiger's roar! This was the black-striped flying tiger's special skill. It was a sound-type martial technique that condensed its inner energy into sound and used it to injure the opponent. Under normal circumstances, it could cause the opponent to temporarily lose their sense of hearing. If it was even more formidable, it could even cause the other party to bleed from their 7 apertures, causing their blood to surge violently, rendering them unable to retaliate. Ling Xiao's tiger's roar in the mountains was terrifying. Moreover, his tiger roar mountain range had only been modified. Not only did it contain inner strength, but it also contained soul power. It could directly damage the opponent's soul. Terrifying roars resounded throughout the square, but Ling Xiao's main target was Mo Ying. However, even with that being the case, many people on the viewing platform still felt a splitting headache. Those who were not strong enough even bled from their ears and were carried away for emergency treatment. As for Mo Ying, who bore the brunt of the attack, not only was all of his attacks dispersed, but he was also the one who had to bear the brunt. Moreover, he was bleeding from all 7 orifices, looking extremely miserable. The power is not bad. I haven't used it in a long time. Using it once really makes me feel refreshed. Ling Xiao looked at the effect and was very satisfied. Mo Ying, I've already said that you can't do it. You actually dared to not use your martial spirit when fighting with me. I don't know where your courage comes from. Ling Xiao looked at Mo Ying indifferently. It was completely like a senior reprimanding a junior who didn't know the rules and didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Ah! Mo Ying let out a shocking roar. Behind him, a strange shadow martial spirit finally appeared. It was a ghost-like thing, cold and terrifying, with the aura of death. It looked like the ghost of a snake. Snake spirit martial spirit? A martial spirit of the dead spirit martial spirit. It's really special. I'm suddenly a little interested. But such a good martial spirit. How will you use it? Don't let me down again. Ling Xiao had originally planned to end this battle. However, seeing Mo Ying's martial spirit, he suddenly became interested. Martial spirits of the dead spirit martial spirit were rare. In the past, his friend Cold Plum had a martial spirit of the dead spirit martial spirit. Today he met it again. Ling Xiao, you shouldn't humiliate me like this. When I used my snake spirit martial spirit, you were already doomed. Don't even think about living. Mo Ying's body floated up like a marionette. It was as if his entire body had no bones. Don't say too much to scare people. Since you used your martial spirit, then out of respect, I'll also use my beast spirit transformation to deal with you. Tyrant blood, demonic dragon, beast spirit transformation. Although Ling Xiao appeared to be very relaxed, in reality, he had never underestimated Mo Ying from the beginning. The reason why he did that was to anger Mo Ying. In fact, with his current cultivation, if he wanted to fight with a martial artist at the early stage of the 12th level of hell, he wouldn't be able to win unless he used all his skills. But he didn't want to expose too much, so he could only play a little tricks. Fortunately, Mo Ying was a fool. If it was Elder Kong, that sly old man, he really wouldn't be fooled. It sounded like he used the tyrant blood, demonic dragon, beast spirit transformation to respect his opponent. In reality, only he knew that if he didn't use his beast spirit transformation when facing Mo Ying, who had used his martial spirit, he would be finished. He could underestimate his opponent with his mouth, but he couldn't underestimate his opponent with his body. Otherwise, he would really be courting death. Snake spirit netherworld kill. As Mo Ying spat out these words, the terrifying snake spirit martial spirit behind him instantly turned into nothingness. It almost turned into a pure bloody light. A dense murderous aura surged into the sky. In the stands, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as they stared fixedly at the scene, because they knew that Mo Ying was going to use his true strength. As the snake spirit martial spirit gradually turned illusory, Mo Ying's body also seemed to have merged with the illusion and turned illusory as well. To be able to force Mo Ying to use this snake spirit netherworld kill, this Ling Xiao is not bad. It's a pity that he won't be able to live after encountering this move. The first sect elder said coldly, "That's right. Before Mo Ying broke through, this move of his was very threatening to me. Now that Mo Ying's cultivation has broken through to the 12th level of hell, the power of this move will only become even more terrifying. Even I don't dare to take it head on, unless I rely on the magic dragon phantom movement technique to dodge. At the very least, I'll have to use the magic dragon phantom movement technique. And Mu Qing and I have already cultivated to this level. As for this Ling Xiao, to be honest, I'm afraid he won't even be able to reach the entry level in a month." Yunlan, who was sitting beside Phoenix in the cloud, said disdainfully. Mu Qing also watched this scene nervously. She hoped that Ling Xiao would be able to create a legend. She also believed that Ling Xiao could do it. When she was in Cold Frost Town, she had heard that Ling Xiao was actually unharmed when facing Elder Kong. Instead, he had injured Elder Kong. With that kind of strength, defeating Mo Ying should be as easy as flipping his hand. On the battlefield, Ling Xiao faced Mo Ying's snake spirit netherworld kill head-on. It had to be said that the opponent's move was very fast. Ordinary movement techniques were simply impossible to dodge. Chapter 2794. All right, since you want to see me make a fool of myself, I'll give you a surprise. What is a genius? I'll set an example for all of you. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao deliberately gave up on other ways to counterattack. He just stood there, waiting for the devil's shadow to approach. What's wrong with this guy? Has he given up? Seeing this scene, many people felt very confused. According to Ling Xiao's style, he didn't seem like someone who would sit and wait for death. Could it be that he was going to use some big move? Or was it the strange explosion from before? Deputy Sect Leader Yin? The first sect elder was also worried that Ling Xiao would use the earth-splitting technique. So he looked at Phoenix in the cloud. Don't worry, I've already used my internal energy to seal the earth element under their feet. He can't use that move anymore. Phoenix in the Cloud said calmly. This old thing had put in a lot of effort to let the devil's shadow win. He was really shameless to interfere in a duel. Godfather. Chun Wan looked nervously at Chin Bai. He had also noticed Phoenix in the Cloud's little trick. It was impossible that Chun Bai didn't notice it. Don't worry, Phoenix in the Cloud's trick will only make him look more shameless. It won't affect the outcome of the battle. You should know that Ling Xiao has a lot of trump cards after watching the battle between Qin Songxiong and Ling Xiao. Chin Bai smiled slightly. He didn't stop Phoenix in the Cloud from cheating because he knew that Phoenix in the Cloud's actions would only be in vain. At this moment, some people were surprised. Some were confused. Some were happy. Some were worried. The Devil's Shadow's attack was very close. If he was really struck by this snake spirit nether kill, even if Ling Xiao was lucky enough to survive, he would still be a half-dead man. Wouldn't he be bullied by the Devil's Shadow after that? Many people didn't understand. Was Ling Xiao suddenly possessed? Why wasn't he moving? I don't care what you do. You're going to die anyway. The Demon's Shadow didn't care what Ling Xiao was thinking. There was only one thing he needed to do now, and that was to attack without hesitation. He didn't feel that what he was about to do was shameless at all. They are the dragon cult, an evil cult. Any method could be used. You're happy. Suddenly, Ling Xiao's poker face finally showed an expression, but it was a smile. To be honest, I really don't want to use that move of yours, which is so slow that it makes people go crazy. But since you all want to see it, I'll fulfill your wish. As soon as he finished speaking, the specter's attack also hit Ling Xiao's body. No, that's not the real body, that's an afterimage. Someone exclaimed. Perhaps it was because Ling Xiao's teleportation speed was too fast, but he actually left behind a very realistic afterimage where he originally stood. The moment the demonic shadow attacked the afterimage, he suddenly realized that his attack had missed. Of course, that's the demonic dragon phantom. The demonic dragon phantom movement technique. In the stands, there was an earth-shattering exclamation. Although the demonic dragon phantom movement technique was only mastered by a very small number of people. Even if you haven't eaten pork, you've still seen pigs run. Anyone who had seen others use the demonic dragon phantom movement technique before could recognize that Ling Xiao's movement technique was definitely the demonic dragon phantom movement technique. At this time, Phoenix in the Cloud and the First Elder were so shocked that they were speechless. They definitely didn't expect that they would actually see Ling Xiao use the demonic dragon phantom movement technique on this battlefield today. It was really unbelievable. It felt like a dream. Countless people, out of excitement, actually stood up and shouted loudly. The dragon cult respected strength. Those who were strong would easily receive support and respect. This level of the demonic dragon phantom movement technique should be at the level of mastery. Right? Deputy Leader Yin? He's already caught up to you, right? The First Elder had also cultivated the demonic dragon phantom movement technique, but his level was only at the level of mastery. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, had advanced to the level of mastery in a month. He didn't want to believe such a fact, but the truth wouldn't change because of his thoughts. Impossible. How could his demonic dragon phantom movement technique catch up to me and master in a month's time? Yun Lan couldn't believe it. He had worked hard for several years to reach the level of mastery, but someone had actually achieved it in a month's time. That kind of feeling was simply too excruciating. Mu Qing's beautiful eyes were also filled with hope. Her demonic dragon phantom movement technique had also reached the level of mastery and was even stronger than the First Elder. However, she had also used several years to reach this level. However, unlike Yunlan's jealousy and hatred, Mu Qing was surprised and happy. Master, I told you before that I wouldn't be wrong about people. Ling Xiao is the key to freeing you, Mu Qing said excitedly. Xiao Mu also looked at Ling Xiao in surprise. there was a secret hidden in her heart. The secret was that Phoenix in the Cloud's strength had actually long surpassed Qinbai's. The reason why Phoenix in the Cloud didn't kill Qinbai was because of her Xiaomuyu. She had given herself to Phoenix in the Cloud because Phoenix in the Cloud had used drugs to sully her, making her feel that she was no longer worthy of being with Qinbai. However, the more important reason was to protect Qinbai. Although Phoenix in the Cloud was already able to defeat Qinbai, the difference in strength wouldn't be too big. As long as she, Xiaomuyu, was still around, Phoenix in the Cloud wouldn't dare to make a move. She buried all the grievances in the bottom of her heart, waiting for the day when she could fight back and take revenge. She needed someone who was stronger than Phoenix in the Cloud and who was absolutely loyal to Qinbai. Ling Zhao's loyalty didn't seem to be a problem. However, Xiaomuyu had previously doubted Ling Zhao's strength and talent. If Mu Qing hadn't asked her to pay attention to this young man, she wouldn't have come here to watch this battle. It was too shocking. Ling Zhao's performance had long exceeded her expectations. He was even more outstanding than she had imagined. No, absolutely impossible. I haven't even succeeded in cultivating the demonic dragon phantom. How can you succeed in 1 month? At this time, the demonic shadow was even crazier. The snake spirit's nether slay was already his strongest attack. However, it didn't hit Ling Zhao. In fact, he had already lost. However, he who couldn't accept this result began to attack crazily. Ling Zhao stood there and looked coldly at the demonic shadow who had already lost control. Suddenly, he attacked and cut the tendons in the demonic shadow's hand with his sword. Ah! A shrill scream sounded on the battlefield. Ling Zhao's face was cold. Perhaps in the eyes of others he was too cruel. However, he felt that he was a little merciful. The demonic shadow wanted to kill him just now. However, what he did now was only to cripple the demonic shadow. If this wasn't merciful, then what was? Swoosh! The long sword stabbed again. The demonic shadow screamed again and again. 2 tendons in his hand, 2 tendons in his feet. In an instant, all of them were cut. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. The demonic shadow finally burst out with a scream of horror. Chapter 2795. Phoenix in the Cloud tried to stop Ling Zhao from crippling Mo Ying. No matter what, Mo Ying was one of his strongest subordinates. However, a cold figure was standing in front of him. I didn't say anything when you interfered in the battle. But now, what are you trying to do? Qinbai looked coldly at Phoenix in the Cloud. If he didn't get angry, did Phoenix in the Cloud really think that he, Qinbai, was a pushover? Damn it! Phoenix in the Cloud glared at Qinbai and was about to attack. However, at this time, Mo Ying had already been kicked out of the arena by Ling Zhao. I'm bored to death. After waiting for a month, I got a trash to fight with me. I've been waiting for nothing. The battle was over. Ling Zhao had crippled Mo Ying's cultivation. No matter how angry Phoenix in the Cloud was, he couldn't change the outcome. Moreover, Mo Ying was the one who asked for this battle. We're all from the same sect. Isn't this a little too ruthless? Phoenix in the Cloud snorted. Ruthless? Mo Ying tried to kill Ling Zhao. I don't think he's ruthless. Instead, he's too merciful. Qinbai said calmly. Look at the cheers outside the arena. Second brother, you seem to have forgotten that we're in the dragon cult. This is a place where strength is respected. At this time, there were cheers outside the arena. Even those who were loyal to Phoenix in the Cloud were cheering. The strong would definitely be respected here. This was the reason why many people who had been recruited by Phoenix in the Cloud were still in awe of Qinbai. Master, since I've defeated Mo Ying, can I be promoted to an upper disciple directly? Also, can we start the demonic sea secret realm? Ling Zhao stood in the arena and asked loudly. He wanted to bring up this matter in front of everyone and strike while the iron was hot. He didn't want to give Phoenix in the Cloud a chance to go back on his words. Of course, I will now bestow upon you the identity of an upper disciple of the dragon cult. and you will also have the opportunity to participate in the Demonic Sea Secret Realm trials. Chen Bai naturally understood Ling Zhao's thoughts, so he announced in public. Phoenix in the Cloud and the First Elder were extremely reluctant, but they couldn't refute him. The fact that Ling Xiao defeated Moing and successfully cultivated the demonic dragon phantom was too much of a surprise to them. So much so that they were not prepared to deal with it. Phoenix in the Cloud returned to her seat, but she didn't sit down. Instead, she looked coldly at Ling Xiao and sighed, "What a blunder!" This Ling Xiao was actually discovered by the sect leader first. What a blunder! Now, even I have to admit that his talent is enviable. With such comprehension ability and cultivation speed, as long as he does not die, he will probably become one of the top experts of the Chen nation soon. Vice sect leader, don't just be envious. What should we do next? As long as this brat is not eliminated, we will not have a day of peace. Chun Bai is already troublesome enough, and now there is Ling Xiao. The First Elder couldn't help but say, "Those who obey me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. If he was a trash, I might not care, but since he is such a genius, I must cripple him. If he can't be used by me, then he must be destroyed." Phoenix in the Cloud's face was extremely gloomy, but Chen Bai is watching closely now, so we need to plan for the long term. Let's go. Okay, the First Elder nodded. This was the only way. Making a move now was definitely out of the question. Ling Xiao was not a fool. Without a foolproof plan to kill this brat, he couldn't make a move casually. "Master, leave that brat to me," Yun Lan suddenly said. "Didn't he want to fight for the demonic dragon sword? That's perfect. I'll kill him in this battle." For Yun Lan, Ling Zhao's talent made him extremely jealous. Such a narrow-minded person would never let Ling Xiao go. Moreover, Mu Qing had brought vice sect leader Xiao Muyu to save Ling Xiao. This made him even more jealous. Mu Qing was his woman. How could she be with Ling Xiao? This Ling Xiao must die. Good. I am very pleased that you have such thoughts. But you have seen what happened to Moing. Although you are much stronger than him, I still hope that you will not underestimate your opponent. Ling Xiao is more difficult to deal with than we thought. Phoenix in the Cloud reminded him, "Master, don't worry. I will not underestimate my opponent." Yun Lan's jealousy grew when she saw Ling Zhao's dazzling appearance in front of everyone's eyes. What right did a lowly person from a small town have to have the same status as him? He was unwilling. Yun Lan was filled with jealousy and hatred as he left with Phoenix in the Cloud, the First Sect Elder, and the others. Ling Xiao also left with Chen Bai amidst the cheers and envy of countless people. On the way, Ling Xiao was still most concerned about the Demonic Sea Secret Realm. This was because he suspected that the Demonic Sea Secret Realm could not only help him break through his cultivation, but it could also help Xiao Jin increase his strength. "Master, when will the Demonic Sea Secret Realm open?" "Soon. There are only 3 days left." Chan Bai replied, "The Demonic Sea Secret Realm should not be difficult for you. However, don't go to the core area. Even Yun Lan and Mu Qing have not been to the core area of the Secret Realm. Master, you don't have to worry about this. If it is really dangerous, I will not go rashly. However, there is a problem. I want to bring Xiao Jin into the Demonic Sea Secret Realm. So, I will have to trouble you to take care of the Mountain Master." Ling Xiao said, "You don't have to worry about this. When you are in the Demonic Sea Secret Realm, I will stay in the Devil Sun Hall." Chun Bai nodded. He was now determined to cultivate Ling Xiao. So, as long as Ling Xiao's request was not too excessive, he would agree to it. "Okay, thank you, Master." Ling Xiao said happily. To him, this trip to the Demonic Sea Secret Realm was necessary because there were too many benefits, other than helping Xiao Jin level up. More importantly, as long as he could obtain enough demonic crystals from the Demonic Sea Secret Realm, he would be able to obtain the cultivation conditions of the demonic dragon possession without caring about any conditions. The demonic dragon possession was an auxiliary martial skill at the third heaven of the immortal grade. It would be of great help to Ling Xiao. Moreover, it was said that swallowing demonic crystals could increase one's cultivation. Ling Xiao naturally wanted to try it. If he could successfully break through to the 12th level of hell, it would be of great help to him in obtaining the demonic dragon sword. It was a rare opportunity. While they were talking, the two of them had already arrived at the Devil Sun Hall. "Master, is there anything else I need to pay attention to in the demonic sea secret realm?" Since he was going to participate in this trial, Ling Xiao naturally wanted to know more. Since he had Qinbai as a resource, it would be a waste not to use it. Chapter 2796. Ha ha ha, if it was in the past, I would definitely not be biased. But after so many years, I have seen through it. Fairness and justice? That's all nonsense. Everyone will give more benefits to those who are closer to them. If I don't do that, I will be letting my disciple down. Chen Bai could be considered to have grown up. It was this world that forced people to be like this. First of all, I think you should pay attention to mixing with Mu Qing as much as possible. This is not the first time Mu Qing has entered the Devil Sea secret realm. She is more familiar with the situation inside. Follow her, and you can familiarize yourself with the environment more easily. And don't blame me for not reminding you. There are a total of 33 warriors entering the Devil Sea secret realm this time. Including you, there are 34 of them, other than Mu Qing. The others are all Yun Zhongfeng and the other elders' men. They will definitely team up to deal with you. Only Mu Qing might help you. Chun Bai said, "It seems like it will be a tough battle, but I have encountered this kind of thing many times. It doesn't matter. I don't want to implicate Mu Qing." Ling Xiao's thoughts were different from Chun Bai's. He did not want to implicate Mu Qing and become enemies with other upper disciples because of him. Then it's up to you. Next, I will tell you the specific situation of the Devil Sea secret realm. The Devil Sea secret realm was formed a long time ago. A strange object fell from the sky, and the Devil Sea dried up. When I first entered, I did a survey. In the secret realm, due to a special demonic energy, a very powerful elemental demonic beast was born. It is called the Devil Sea Giant Beast. The Devil Sea Giant Beast's body can form demonic energy, crystal stones. Only by killing them can one obtain the demonic energy, crystal stones. I have also told you before that whoever obtains the most demonic energy crystal stones will be the biggest winner of this Devil Sea secret realm trial. You don't need to get first place. As long as you can get third place, you will be qualified to cultivate the demonic dragon possession. How strong is the Devil Sea Giant Beast? Ling Xiao asked. Under normal circumstances, they are at the late stage of the 1-star 11th level of hell. This is also the reason why only the upper disciples are qualified to enter the trial. Some mutated demonic sea beasts would reach the peak of the 11th hell, but they would only have 2 demonic energy crystals in their bodies. The most terrifying ones were the Devil Sea Beast Kings. If you encountered them, you should avoid them as much as possible. Those guys were all terrifying existences with a strength of 1 star and 12 levels of hell. However, the magic energy stones within the demonic sea beast king's bodies were also known as king crystals. A single king crystal was worth dozens or even hundreds of ordinary magic energy stones, depending on the demonic sea beast king's strength. Also, the reason why I didn't let you enter the core area is because the leader of all the demonic sea beasts, the demonic sea beast emperor, lives there. Even I am afraid of its strength, so I haven't been there. Chen Bai explained in detail, fearing that Ling Xiao would not understand. It could be seen that he really cared and loved Ling Xiao very much. There are no crystals in the demonic sea beast emperors? Ling Xiao asked with a smile. Then I don't know. After all, so far, no one has been able to kill the demonic sea beast emperors. As for obtaining the demonic energy crystals, it's even more impossible. Chen Bai shook his head and said, "Kid, Don't take my words for granted. Don't worry, master. Do I look like a reckless person? Ling Xiao smiled and said, You really do. To be honest, when you went to save your master back then, your master was really shocked. You're too impulsive, child. It doesn't matter if your master dies. But if you die, then your master will really be in despair. Qin Bai smiled bitterly and said, All right, let's not talk about this. Do you have any other questions? Master will answer them all. Not for now. Ling Xiao said, All right, since that's the case, Master will go back to the sect master's hall first. My foster children have suffered so much. It's time for them to enjoy some benefits. In the past, it was Phoenix in the Cloud who protected those people. Do you think I won't be biased? Chen Bai got up and left. In the Demon Sun's hall, only Ling Xiao, Xiao Jin, and the unconscious Yi Xianwu were left. Fortunately, Yin Yang realm martial artists would not die if they did not eat for 1 or 2 years. Otherwise, Yi Xianwu's situation would be really worrying. Xiao Jin, you stay here first. I'll go see if there are any herbs in the trading hall. The mountain master can't stay unconscious. Ling Xiao was not too worried about the demonic sea secret realm anymore. He had absolute confidence in his own strength. In addition, he could bring Xiao Jin with him. With the 2 brothers working together, who could stop them? All right, boss, go ahead. Anyway, those trash can't break the Demon Sun's hall's array. Xiao Jin nodded. Ling Xiao left the Demon Sun's hall. He originally planned to go directly to the trading hall, but who knew that a cold wind would suddenly blow from afar? He frowned, stretched out his hand, and grabbed that thing. A hairpin? Ling Xiao looked at the thing in his hand. It was indeed a hairpin, but there was a note wrapped around it. He opened the note and saw the words inside. He immediately frowned. The red which is in my hands. See you at the Ghost Lookout Slope, southwest of Demon Dragon City. At this moment, Ling Xiao noticed that this hairpin was indeed the Red Witch's. He did not expect that the Red Witch would be used to threaten him as soon as she returned. It seemed that there were many people in the dragon cult who hated him. I hope nothing happens to her. Otherwise, I don't care who you are. I'll kill you. The Ghost Lookout Slope outside Demon Dragon City was a very famous place. Ling Xiao naturally knew about it. He left the city and arrived at the foot of the Ghost Lookout Slope as quickly as possible. There was an old tree on the slope. At this moment, there was a rope hanging on the old tree. The Red Witch was hanging upside down on the rope. It could be seen that the Red Witch was not dead, but she had suffered a lot. Seeing Ling Xiao, the Red Witch shouted in a hoarse voice, Don't come over! Obviously, this was a trap. Someone wanted Ling Xiao's life, but it was not good to do it in the dragon cult. They could only lure Ling Xiao out of Demon Dragon City and use the Red Witch as bait. However, Ling Xiao did not listen to the Red Witch's words. Looking at the Red Witch's bruised body, Ling Xiao only felt a stomach full of evil fire brewing crazily. If he knew who did it, he could guarantee that this person would definitely die, no matter what. He jumped and hugged the Red Witch. At the same time, he cut the rope that was hanging the Red Witch. However, at this moment, a ball of red light suddenly appeared around them and wrapped the 2 of them inside. From within the red light, one could see outside. The people hiding in the dark finally walked out. The person in the lead was actually Yunlan. Chapter 2797. Ling Xiao, you shouldn't have come. The Red Witch said as she cried. Although the Red Witch was very gratified and happy to see Ling Xiao come to save her, she was very worried when she thought that it was a trap. She was afraid that Ling Xiao would lose his life here because of her. Don't worry. It's just a few bastards. I'm not even afraid of Elder Kong. Why would I be afraid of them? Ling Xiao patted the Red Witch's back gently and comforted her. Your task now is to sleep obediently. When you wake up, everything will be fine. At this point, he directly hit the Red Witch's sleeping acupoint and put her into the beast ring to rest. Then he looked at Yunlan coldly. You don't have to be so angry. To be honest, when I kidnapped the Red Witch, I was worried that you would be tricked because of her since you were so cruel. Now, it seems that this B*TCH is very much in your heart. Have you slept with her? Yunlan looked at Ling Xiao with a cold and mocking smile on his face, as if he was talking to a trapped beast. Your brain is full of SH*T. How sad. Your feelings for your mother, elder sister, and younger sister are also because you slept with them? Ling Xiao looked at this handsome face with disgust. He was so handsome, but he was a scumbag deep down. No wonder this Yunlan couldn't win Mu Qing's favor. You're right. I did sleep with my mother when I was young. However, she was old and weak this year, so I killed her. Yunlan smiled faintly as if he was talking about something insignificant. F***CK, you're really a scumbag and a beast. Then there's really nothing to talk about between us. Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment. He really didn't expect Yunlan to be more of a beast than he had imagined. This guy even dared to defile his own mother. You can say whatever you want. I didn't really want to kill you when I set up this trap today. After all, you're the sect master's favorite. If I kill you, I'm afraid the sect master will come looking for me. Yunlan looked at Ling Xiao and said calmly, I kidnapped the Red Witch because I wanted to see if you're really that cold and heartless. The result surprised me. You look so ruthless and ruthless on the surface, but in reality, you know how to take care of women. Although I can't kill you for the time being, if I kill the Red Witch, no one will come looking for trouble with me. The Red Witch is the first elder's disciple, but she went against the first elder's wishes. Even if I kill her, her death will be in vain. There's no need to beat around the bush. Just say it directly. Are you trying to use the Red Witch to threaten me? Ling Xiao said with a frown. It is really easy to talk to smart people. Just say it. As long as you can do 3 things, I will not harm the Red Witch or the others around you. Yunlan smiled and said, the first thing is to withdraw from the demonic sea secret realm. The second thing is to draw a clear line between you and Mu Qing. Don't even speak to her. The third thing is to get out of the dragon cult. If you do that, not only will you not have to die, but the people around you will also not have to die. Although he was speaking with a smile, his tone was incomparably cold, like the cold wind of winter. You really think too highly of yourself. Even Phoenix in the cloud wouldn't dare to be so self-righteous. I caused a ruckus in Thunder City and killed so many people because those idiots in Thunder City thought too highly of themselves. They insisted that I do this and that, and they never cared about my feelings. Do you want to die? Ling Xiao stared at Yunlan. There was no doubt that Yunlan was very strong, even stronger than Elder Kong. However, if this was enough to make him obedient, it would be too laughable. Wanna die? Yunlan smiled and said, do you really think that you're qualified to be compared to me just because you defeated Moing? To tell you the truth, even if Lei Di personally came, I, Yunlan, wouldn't put him in my eyes. As for that so-called number 1 genius, Chen Songxiong, the only thing that I fear is his talent. In terms of strength, how can he compare to me? Not to mention you. Perhaps your aptitude is stronger than mine, but it's impossible for you to surpass me in a short period of time. You want to kill me? What a joke. Why don't you let me out and let's spar? Ling Xiao said coldly. You don't have to play tricks. I won't let you out before you finish your words. I won't fight you here. Although this place was quite far from the demonic dragon city, it was still within the range of Chenbai's aura. Do you want to use him to kill me? I won't fall for it. Yunlan sneered and said, listen, I won't repeat myself. If you can't do the 3 things I said before, you will soon see the corpse of the Red Witch. Of course, not only her, but anyone in the dragon cult who has a good relationship with you may die. Chun Yan, Chun Wan, Yi Chin Wuxing, and that bird you love so much. Last time, I told Master to kill that bird directly. There was no need to put it in the beast fighting arena. If he was willing to listen to me, he wouldn't have lost the second elder. I can tell you now that I won't agree to any of your 3 conditions. Not only will I participate in the trial of the demonic sea secret realm, but I will also suppress you in terms of results. Do you want to hurt my friends and family? Go ahead and try. If they lose a single hair, I will make you pay back 1,000 times. I think you don't want to become a piece of trash like MOing, right? Ling Xiao said coldly. He was very clear that whether he agreed to the 3 conditions or not, Yunlan would not let him and his friends go. Therefore, it was right to be a little tougher. As long as he took precautions and counterattacked, it would be fine. Yunlan, don't you want to hurt my people? I will make sure you don't have the time and ability to do so. I will make sure you can't even cultivate in peace. Since that's the case, there's nothing to talk about. Kill him. Yunlan gave the order to the experts beside him. Then he turned and left without looking back. Perhaps in his opinion, it would be very easy for these experts, who were at the peak of the 11th level of the Yinyang realm, to kill the trapped Ling Xiao. He didn't even need to do anything. After all, if he did, he might implicate his master, Phoenix, in the cloud. He knew this very well. However, Yunlan had only left for a few minutes. Those experts, who looked very strong, all turned into corpses. Their so-called trap was just a formation that could weaken one's combat power. But it just so happened that formations were nothing to Ling Xiao. Bah! Ling Xiao spat at the corpses on the ground. He looked coldly in the direction Yunlan left. It seems that I have to make you, scum Yunlan, suffer a little in this trip to the demonic sea secret realm. It was only because he entered the samsara later that he was not as good as Chen Songxiong, Yunlan, and Muqing. Overtaking at the bend, maybe you can really do it. At this point, Chen Bai brought Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin to the saltwater lake outside the Demon Dragon City, which used to be called the Demon Sea. The saltwater lake was very large. However, it completely dried up in a breath's time. It was enough to imagine how terrifying the thing that fell into the Demon Sea was. The entrance of the Demon Sea mystic realm was heavily guarded by the dragon cult, and the person guarding the Demon Sea mystic realm was actually someone who was stronger than the 3 elders. People called him Domineering Blade Ghost Li. Domineering Blade Ghost Li's position in the dragon cult was very special. He was once saved by Phoenix in the cloud and joined the dragon cult to repay his kindness. Although he didn't have a position, no one in the dragon cult dared to disrespect him. Under his protection, the Demon Sea mystic realm had never been broken through by outsiders. He was really very powerful. Although Ling Xiao couldn't see through his true cultivation, he believed that he was probably an expert on the same level as Qinbai. The entrance of the Demon Sea mystic realm was the place where the strange thing fell. It was a bottomless pit. At this time, Phoenix in the cloud and the first elder had already led the other 33 disciples to wait at the entrance. These 33 disciples included the other 8 of the 10 devil heirs. After all, 2 of them had already been crippled by Ling Xiao. Among the 33 people, other than Mu Qing, who was Xiao Muyu's disciple, the other 32 people were all under Phoenix in the cloud and the first elder. In other words, Ling Xiao entered the Demon Sea mystic realm this time not only to obtain more demonic crystals, but also to guard against being schemed against. Perhaps it was because Ling Xiao had crippled 2 of the 10 devil heirs, but as soon as he appeared, the air was immediately filled with the smell of gunpowder. Those people's gazes were as if they wanted to kill him. They didn't dare to be disrespectful to Qinbai, but they weren't afraid of Ling Xiao. These people had probably already discussed in private that the Demon Sea mystic realm would be Ling Xiao's death. Although Ling Xiao's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 11th level of the Yinyang realm, and he had crippled Moing, it proved that his combat strength might have reached the early stage of the 12th level of the Yinyang realm. However, these people were obviously not to be trifled with. Among them, the one with the lowest cultivation was at the late stage of the 11th level of the Yinyang realm. The one with the highest cultivation was naturally at the peak of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm, which was similar to Ling Xiao's cultivation. Moreover, after Mo Ying's breakthrough, Phoenix in the Cloud considered that his subordinate's strength would be weakened. He didn't hesitate to use a very evil method to pass Mo Ying's cultivation to the other 3 people. In his words, this was called making the best use of trash. As a result, these 3 people's cultivation had broken through a day ago, and all of them had advanced to the early stage of the 12th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Moreover, these 3 people were Phoenix in the Cloud's most loyal disciples, Cloud Demon, Cloud Ghost, and Cloud Demon. In addition to Yunlan, these 4 people's cultivation was higher than Ling Xiao's. As long as they joined forces, Ling Xiao would not be able to escape even if he had wings. Compared to Ling Xiao, these 32 people were absolutely crushed. If it were an ordinary person facing such a terrifying opponent, even if they did not tremble in fear, they would definitely give up on the trial. However, Ling Xiao faced these chilling gazes and returned it coldly. Deputy Sect Leader Yin, First Sect Elder, you better watch your dogs. I have a bad temper. If they dare to attack me in the mystic realm, I will definitely kill them. Ling Xiao said coldly, this guy is too daring. That's right. He actually dares to fight against 32 upper disciples. My goodness, could it be that he has become arrogant after defeating Mo Ying? Who knows, but he seems to be able to surprise people every time. The guards of the Demon Sea Mystic Realm had naturally heard about Ling Xiao and were very curious about Ling Xiao. Could such a person really survive in the Demon Sea Mystic Realm? Phoenix in the Cloud's face did not look good. Ling Xiao no longer took him seriously. Previously, Ling Xiao still had some respect for him. However, after he besieged the Devil Sun Hall, Ling Xiao no longer had any respect for him. He was even worse than Qin Bai. He gritted his teeth and tried to remain calm. Let this guy be arrogant for a while. Once we enter the Demon Sea Mystic Realm, Ling Xiao will definitely die. Chapter 2799. Taking a deep breath, Phoenix in the Cloud looked at Qin Bai and said, Sect Master, since Ling Xiao has already been added, why don't we add one more person? What do you mean? Qin Bai frowned. Sect Master, please calm down. However, Gilly also has a disciple who wasn't originally a disciple of our dragon cult. But 3 days ago, he came here and begged Gilly to let him join the dragon cult. Moreover, his strength is definitely not a problem. He's only stronger than Mo Ying. Phoenix in the Cloud said calmly, Where is Gilly's disciple? Qin Bai frowned. If it was really Gilly's disciple, then he really couldn't refuse. Greetings, Sect Master. A young man in his 20s walked out from behind Ghostly. He looked just like Ghostly and had a ferocious look. This person's body was very strong, and his cheeks looked like they had been through a lot. Standing there, he was like a sharp sword unsheathed, and one could clearly feel his sword intent. However, Ling Xiao felt that it was strange. This person's sword intent seemed to be directed at him. It was almost condensed. He didn't understand. He had never met this person before, so why did he hate him? Could it be that Phoenix in the Cloud said something? However, it shouldn't be to this extent. This kind of hatred wasn't like the 32 upper disciples, but an irreconcilable hatred. What's your name? Qin Bai asked. Tuoba Yunxiang. What? Hearing this name, Ling Xiao suddenly realized something. Could it be that he was a descendant of the Tuoba family? If that was the case, then it was normal for him to have an irreconcilable hatred. After all, Tuoba Yu, Tuoba Yunfan, and Tuoba Fengdun were all killed by him. It would appear that this person truly resembled Tuoba Yunfan. Could it be that they were blood brothers? When Qin Bai heard this name, he was stunned for a moment before asking, What's your relationship with the Tuoba family in Cold Frost Town? Sect Master, this junior has been sent to my master's place to train since I was young. Tuoba Yunfan is this junior's older brother, and Tuoba Fengdun is this junior's grandfather. Tuoba Yunxiang did not hide anything. He had come to the dragon cult for Ling Xiao. Qin Bai still wanted to say something, but he heard Ling Xiao say, "You're here for revenge, right? But I advise you not to be impulsive. Your brother and grandfather wanted to kill me, so I killed them. It's reasonable for you to want revenge. However, I don't want to kill anyone from your Tuoba family. After all, every injustice has its perpetrator and every debt has its debtor. I don't have much enmity with the rest of the Tuoba family. Are you scared?" Tuoba Yunxiang said coldly. "Haha, you're really a dog biting Master Lu. You don't know how to appreciate kindness. Forget it. Since you won't listen to my advice, I'll accept your revenge. However, I still have to warn you. If you attack, I won't just kill you. I'll also kill everyone from your family. Otherwise, if someone comes to me for revenge every once in a while, wouldn't I be very depressed?" Ling Xiao had never thought of himself as a righteous person. Therefore, he never rigidly adhered to the rules when doing things. He only believed in one thing, and that was to repay enmity with enmity and repay kindness with kindness. Everything was carried out according to this principle. Tuoba Yunxiang, since you're a disciple of my dragon cult and Gili's last disciple, and I saw that your cultivation has indeed met the requirements, I'll let you participate in the Demonic Sea Secret Realms trial. Qin Bai knew that it was useless to refuse. Moreover, it wouldn't be good. Gili had guarded the Demonic Sea Secret Realm for more than 10 years, and his contributions were great. If he refused, it would be disappointing. Moreover, he wasn't worried that Tuoba Yunxiang could do anything to Ling Xiao. Since he had to take revenge sooner or later, he might as well settle it in the Demonic Sea Secret Realm. "Many thanks, sect leader." Tuoba Yunxiang stood up and withdrew his monstrous killing intent. When he looked at Ling Xiao again, he had already turned his gaze to the sinkhole not far away. He could feel that the sinkhole was filled with an incomparably mysterious aura, blazing and powerful. Xiao Jin was even more excited as it flapped its wings and jumped on his shoulder. Ever since it became like this, Xiao Jin could no longer cultivate human martial arts. It could only increase its strength by devouring heat. It had been holding it in for a long time. All right, if there are no other questions, shall we begin the Demonic Sea Secret Realms trial? Chen Bai looked at everyone and asked. Phoenix in the cloud naturally didn't have any other questions. What he wanted was for Tuoba Yunxiang to join in and increase the success rate of killing Ling Xiao. "I have 2 questions," Ling Xiao suddenly said. "What questions?" Qin Bai asked. "First, can we kill in the Demonic Sea Secret Realms trial? This is very important. He needs to have a reasonable authority to kill. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for him to do so. Regarding this, I naturally don't wish for fellow disciples to kill each other. However, in the Demonic Sea Secret Realm, outsiders won't know what happens. Therefore, if there is really killing each other, I won't be able to do anything about it. Of course, in order to prevent the dragon cult from suffering heavy losses due to killing each other, we have set up a total of 10 safety points in the Demonic Sea Secret Realm. As long as you stay inside, you won't be able to kill each other. Once you kill each other, you will suffer a backlash. This is all we can do." Chen Bai's explanation was very clear. In fact, he was introducing it to Ling Xiao. Understood. Then, the second question, will I be able to obtain the complete cultivation method of the demonic dragon possession if I get the most demonic energy? Crystal stones? Ling Xiao asked. Of course. Qin Bai nodded. He knew why Ling Xiao asked this question in front of everyone. It was because Chen Bai couldn't act arbitrarily. Therefore, Phoenix in the cloud and the first elder had to give an affirmative answer. Vice sect leader Yin and the first elder don't have any objections, right? Ling Xiao asked. Of course we have no objections. The supreme martial art belongs to the virtuous. If you really have the strength, we have nothing to say. However, don't be too greedy. Do you think you can surpass Yunlan and Mu Qing? Phoenix in the Cloud said lightly. What he didn't say was, whether you can come out alive is a problem. Vice Sect Leader Yin, you don't have to worry about that. I, Ling Xiao, will not only walk out of here with my head held high, but I will also get first place in this trial. After all, the trial isn't just about strength. It also depends on other things. Ling Xiao smiled, then looked at Qinbai and said, Master, I finished asking my questions. Good. In that case, everyone, get ready to jump into the sinkhole. Remember, after you go down, you will be blown to different places by the astral wind. Landing safely is the first step. Next, whether you act alone or find your teammates, it's up to you. With Chun Bai's order, a total of 35 people, 34 of them jumped down at the same time. Chapter 2800. Xiao Jin, let's play a fun game next. Ling Xiao said mentally, What game, boss? Xiao Jin asked excitedly, I'm thinking that those crafty fellows will most likely join hands to deal with me. Even the magic crystals obtained by the others will be given to Yunlan, Yun Mo, Yun Gui, and Yun Yao. Let them occupy the top 4 spots. As for that Tuoba Yunxiang, he probably only has one goal, which is to kill me. It's very difficult. We can't just passively accept this. We have to take the initiative to attack. Ling Xiao sneered. Boss, are you talking about hunting? We won't go so far as to kill them, but we have to snatch all the magic crystals obtained by those people to prevent Yunlan and the others from obtaining them. That would be disadvantageous to me and Mu Qing. Ling Xiao said, Good, this is much more exciting than killing the demonic sea giant beast. Xiao Jin's eyes lit up. Let's go. After the discussion, Ling Xiao directly jumped down. At first, he didn't feel anything, but when he was about 100 meters down, a terrifying astral wind suddenly blew. Not only was it extremely hot, but the wind was also very terrifying. In order to not be separated from Xiao Jin, Ling Xiao could only put Xiao Jin into the beast ring. When the astral wind completely stopped, Ling Xiao found that he had already landed. There was indeed no one around. Ling Xiao's location was still relatively safe. The surroundings were filled with boiling magma, which seemed to have been formed after being melted by something. Seeing the magma, Ling Xiao suddenly became happy. Not only for him, but for Xiao Jin as well. It was definitely a great supplement. They were currently on a small island in the middle of the magma. Looking into the distance, they seemed to be able to see a huge, monstrous beast formed by the magma. It should be the demonic sea giant beast. This thing is called demonic sea giant beast. It might as well be called lava giant beast. Ling Xiao shook his head and let Xiao Jin out, no longer thinking about the name of this beast. Next, he planned to follow Little Gold inside and kill some demonic sea beasts along the way. When the trial was about to end, he would start his robbery plan. At that time, those people would have a lot of magic energy stones. It would also be more convenient for them to snatch more. Ling Xiao didn't feel the slightest psychological burden towards this kind of behavior. Even if he did not do so, those people would not let him go. He was not a fool who would only take a beating and not fight back. With the Tai Chi eye, not only was he very clear about the internal structure of the demonic sea secret realm, but he was also very clear about it. Furthermore, he could clearly see what was around him. That was why he dared to say that he would definitely be the first in the trial of the demonic sea secret realm. If he still couldn't win under such favorable conditions, then he was really incompetent. Go! Ling Xiao didn't linger on the heat in the magma because there was something better than that. That was the demonic sea beasts. These demonic sea beasts were born from the energy released by the foreign creature. They had all sorts of strange appearances, but they were basically all demonic beasts that existed in the Devil's Sea in the past. Some looked like giant octopuses. Some looked like terrifying sharks. In short, it was as if all the demonic beasts in the Devil's Sea had mutated and most of them were very large. He moved forward quietly, using the nether demonic dragon to travel through the secret realm. It was worth mentioning that the nether demonic dragon was a way to use the demonic dragon phantom, just like the nether wolf. As mentioned before, Ling Xiao integrated the method of using the 1,000-mile wolf into the demonic dragon phantom. Not only was the effect stronger than before, but it was also more eye-catching. There was a huge demonic sea beast about 4 to 5 meters away from them. It looked like a mutated seal, and its whole body was shining with the light of magma. Its aura was also very powerful. However, it only had the strength of a late-stage 1-star 11-level hell. Ling Xiao could win for sure. Therefore, he didn't ask Little Gold to help. The moment he got close, he instantly attacked. The sword pierced through the demonic sea beast's vital point. The huge demonic sea beast struggled for a while, then fell to the ground in pain. Then, there was no bleeding from its body. Instead, it shattered and turned into magma on the ground. There were 2 things in the magma. One was the demonic beast crystal core, which was red in color, very similar to magma. Ling Xiao directly threw it to Little Gold to swallow. The other thing was the demonic energy crystal core, which was golden in color, somewhat similar to the golden crow. Ling Xiao's body movement and martial arts were actually quite suitable for sneak attacks. Moreover, there was no one here to see, so he could use some of his martial arts freely. It was not surprising that he could easily kill the demonic sea beasts whose cultivation was lower than his. How do you feel? After a while, seeing that Little Gold had absorbed the energy of the demonic beast crystal core, Ling Xiao couldn't help but ask. It feels good. Maybe it's because my cultivation is relatively low, but it gave me a huge boost. I can clearly feel that my cultivation is now at the mid-stage of the 11th hell with 50% of my energy. 1 demonic beast crystal core increased my energy by 20%. At this rate, I can reach the late stage of the 11th hell with 3 more cores. Little Gold said excitedly. I've said it before, this is called a blessing in disguise. Although your body has become the golden crow, it's easier to increase your cultivation. I'm envious of you. Ling Xiao sighed. Perhaps this is what the saying goes. Who knows if it's a blessing in disguise? When you lose something, you will naturally gain more. Very good, then let's continue. Killing the demonic sea beasts could not only help Little Gold increase his strength, but also collect demonic energy crystals. This was indeed a good thing to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. From Ling Xiao's point of view, Xiao Jin's cultivation level would be about the same as his by the time the final robbery began. In the following time, Ling Xiao walked forward, and on the way he encountered the demonic sea beasts and killed them. The demonic sea beasts with the strength of the late stage of the 11th hell were no threat to him, and killing them was not difficult. So soon, Little Gold's strength broke through to the late stage of the 11th hell. However, after his cultivation had broken through, the amount of energy he gained from each demonic beast core he devoured had become very small. Previously, 1 demonic beast crystal core could increase his energy by 20%. Now, 100 cores could only increase his energy by 10%. The problem was, there weren't that many demonic sea beasts. Along the way, they only saw a total of 12 beasts. Looks like I have to find a stronger one. If I encounter a demonic sea beast with the peak strength of the 11th hell, the demonic beast crystal core would definitely allow Little Gold to increase his strength faster. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao's speed increased a lot. Chuan Bai once told him that in the demonic sea secret realm, the deeper you go, the narrower the space, but the stronger the demonic beasts. Chapter 2801. So far, Ling Xiao had only obtained 12 demonic energy crystals. His speed was definitely not as fast as those 30 people. After all, they were familiar with the structure of this place and knew where the demonic sea beasts were. The reason why the demonic sea secret realm opened every once in a while was because the demonic sea beasts would be reborn after a period of time. Everything had originated from that mysterious, strange object. It created these demonic sea beasts. It also created the demonic sea secret realm. The most interesting thing was that every time the demonic sea beasts were reborn, their range of activity was similar. This was even more beneficial to Yunlan and the others. Therefore, Ling Xiao felt that his initial plan of robbery was absolutely correct. If he did not do that, he would not be able to fight against 30 people alone. It was too ridiculous. Shaking his head, Ling Xiao continued forward with Xiao Jin. Anyway, there was still a lot of time. The demonic sea secret realm trial was set to last for 3 days. And now, only a few hours had passed. Ling Xiao was not in a hurry to rob. For now, it was better to raise Xiao Jin's strength to about the same as his. Then, even if he encountered a powerful demonic sea beast king, he would be able to easily deal with it. After about an hour, Ling Xiao noticed that the situation around him had changed. The temperature of the magma had become even higher than before. Under such high temperature, ordinary warriors would not be able to survive at all. Even Yin-Yang realm warriors would feel very uncomfortable. Ling Xiao activated the volcano battle body to make himself feel more comfortable. Moreover, the volcano battle body seemed to be slowly improving under the high temperature. The elementary volcano battle body was already comparable to a third heaven immortal grade martial technique. What would happen if it improved further? Ling Xiao was very much looking forward to it. As for Xiao Jin, there was even less to worry about. Xiao Jin was the combination of the devouring demon fetus and the golden crow. It could absorb heat to improve. Not only was the high temperature not harmful to it, but it could also improve its strength. Boss, it seems to be the demonic sea beast that Qinbai mentioned. We finally found it. About 100 meters ahead, a ferocious demonic sea beast was absorbing the heat in the air. Ling Xiao could also confirm that it was a demonic sea beast at the peak of the 11th level of hell. Let's go! Ling Xiao called out and split up with Xiao Jin, charging towards the mutated demonic sea beast at the same time. It was a pity that the mutant demonic sea beast was very powerful, but it still had to face these two monsters. Needless to say, he could even defeat a Yin-Yang realm warrior at the 12th level of hell. Xiao Jin was also able to fight against opponents of a higher level. With the 9 underworld yellow springs golden light, he could easily injure opponents at the peak of the 11th level of hell. Under the pincer attack of the two, the mutant demonic sea behemoth was easily killed. After the mutant demonic sea behemoth died, there were indeed 2 demonic energy crystal stones and an even stronger demonic beast core. Xiao Jin happily swallowed the demonic beast core and said happily, "Boss, we were right. I only need 5 demonic beast cores of this level to reach the peak of the 11th floor of hell. Okay, let's hurry up and do it." 1 man and 1 beast once again began their frenzied hunt. Soon, Xiao Jin's strength broke through again and reached the peak of the 11th level of hell. More importantly, his breakthrough didn't have any side effects. It was really enviable. Damn, I worked so hard to break through to this level. You did it so easily. I'm so jealous. After stopping the hunt, Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin sat in a secluded place to rest. Ling Xiao sighed. "Why don't we switch?" Xiao Jin smiled. "Let's not." Ling Xiao shook his head. Although it was easier for Xiao Jin to increase his strength in his current form, he still needed opportunities. If there wasn't a place like the demonic sea secret realm, it would be troublesome. Moreover, it was really hard for a person to maintain the state of a demonic sea beast. This was the so-called where there are gains, there are losses. Ling Xiao would rather cultivate slowly than become Xiao Jin. Moreover, his cultivation speed wasn't slow. Roar! Suddenly, a terrifying roar came from the front. Ling Xiao hurriedly stood up and looked over with his Tai Chi eye. he couldn't help but smile. Xiao Jin, more delicious food is coming. Demonic sea beast kings, and there's more than one. Perhaps they were too excited and got too close to the demonic sea secret realm, which alerted the demonic sea beast kings. More than 100 demonic sea beast kings rushed towards them. What should we do, boss? If we encounter so many demonic sea beast kings at once, even you and I will have trouble, right? Xiao Jin said anxiously. Don't be afraid. Did you notice anything special about the terrain here? Ling Xiao said with a smile. It's narrow enough. Xiao Jin suddenly realized. The road wasn't too narrow and could definitely allow 4 or 5 people to pass side by side. However, the demonic sea beast kings were too large and could only allow one to pass at a time. In this way, as long as Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin guarded the entrance, they could defeat the hundreds of demonic sea beast kings one by one. Xiao Jin, you hold on first. I'll set up the formation. We can't consume too much energy. After all, we still have to rob later. Ling Xiao called out and took out the materials for setting up the array. He began to set up the array on the narrow path. Xiao Jin had already rushed forward and guarded the narrowest road, fighting with the demonic sea beast kings. Although Xiao Jin's strength was only at the peak of the 11th level of hell, the demonic sea beast kings were at the early stage of the 12th level of hell. However, Xiao Jin wasn't afraid at all, especially the terrifying 9 underworld yellow spring golden light. As long as it hit the demonic sea beast kings, it would be injured. At this rate, Xiao Jin had an 80% chance of winning. Of course, it was too tiring. That was why Ling Xiao had to set up the formation. In this place, the best formations were the 1,000 Beast Blood Refining Formation and the lesser 1,000 Lightning Immortal Slaying Formation. Ling Xiao didn't have the ability to set up the real 1,000 Lightning Immortal Slaying Formation, but the effect of the lesser 1,000 Lightning Immortal Slaying Formation was also good. Xiao Jin, you can move aside. Ling Xiao shouted, and Xiao Jin moved away from the spot. The demonic sea beast king, who had been beaten black and blue by Xiao Jin, rushed in. Boom! Terrifying lightning appeared out of nowhere, and the demonic sea beast king fell to the ground instantly. Then the 1,000 Beast Blood Refining Formation was activated. The demonic sea beast king's energy was absorbed by the formation and directly transferred into Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao went forward and attacked with his sword. The demonic sea beast king was extremely powerful, but after being injured by the formation, Ling Xiao killed it with his powerful sword technique. It was a piece of cake. This is a good way to improve my cultivation and martial arts skills. Chapter 2802. The demonic sea beast kings were extremely powerful and were constantly attacking the bottleneck of Ling Xiao's cultivation. At this rate, if he could kill all 100 devil sea beast kings, his cultivation would break through to the first cycle of the 12th level of hell. As for his various martial skills, they would probably advance as well. The battle continued for 2 days. On the last day, all the demonic sea beast kings were killed. On the other hand, Ling Xiao's cultivation had already broken through when he killed 50 devil sea beast kings. Xiao Jin was the same, breaking through at the same time as him. The demonic sea beast king's demonic sea beast cores were extremely powerful and effective. Now, Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin were both experts at the early stage of the 12th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Not only that, they also obtained 100 demonic sea beast king crystals. This king crystal was equivalent to dozens or even hundreds of demonic crystal stones. This was truly a bountiful harvest. However, if Xiao Jin wanted to break through again, the demonic sea beast kings would not be qualified. They might even have to kill the demonic sea beast emperor that even Chen Bai was afraid of. Boss, even Yunlan and Mu Qing wouldn't dare to fight so many demonic sea beast kings. Knowing how to use formations is awesome. Xiao Jin said excitedly. Not only that, the The two of us are not afraid of the terrifying heat, so our battle strength will not weaken but instead increase. But Yunlan and Mu Qing definitely won't be able to. So I feel that even if we don't rob them this time, the total amount of demonic crystal stones we'll get will surpass Yunlan and the others. Ling Xiao said with a smile, "Then we won't rob them." Xiao Jin asked, "No, we'll definitely rob them. We can't let those bastards have an easy time, especially that Yunlan. He actually dared to use the red witch to threaten me. Even if I can't kill him, I won't let him have an easy time." Ling Xiao said coldly, "Speaking of which, it's strange. Boss, didn't that Tuoba Yunxiang want to kill you? Why haven't we encountered any enemies until now?" Xiao Jin asked doubtfully. "About that, I intentionally avoided them." Ling Xiao smiled. "In the beginning, there was no need to fight to the death with them." Ling Xiao had the Tai Chi eye, so he could naturally avoid danger. As long as he was close to the other 34 people, he would change his route. Now that he was here, he could no longer see any enemies. The limit of those people was probably at the edge of the demonic Sea Beast King's birthplace. "Xiao Jin, do you dare to follow me inside?" With the breakthrough in his cultivation, Ling Xiao really wanted to find a strong opponent to fight. Although he knew that the demonic Sea Beast Emperor was extremely powerful, he still wanted to try. If worst came to worst, he could still use the golden light warping technique to escape. "Of course. Boss, if you dare, I dare." "All right, let's go." Ling Xiao smiled and swallowed a blood spirit pill to recover his lost qi, blood, and inner force. Then he headed towards the deepest part of the demonic sea secret realm. Along the way, they encountered many demonic sea beast kings. Furthermore, the deeper they went, the stronger the demonic sea beast kings became. However, Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin were no longer the same as before. Their cultivation had broken through, and their combat strength had increased by 100 times. Demonic sea beast kings of the same cultivation level could not withstand a single blow from them. Those who were one stage higher than them could not withstand a single blow from them. Before reaching the deepest part of the demonic sea secret realm, Xiao Jin's cultivation level had increased to the middle stage of the 12th level of hell. This cultivation level was already higher than Ling Xiao's. In terms of combat strength, it was comparable to Ling Xiao's. For this reason, Ling Xiao was not jealous at all. He was only relieved and happy. The stronger Xiao Jin was, the more help it would be to him. What was there to be jealous of? So terrifying. Suddenly, Ling Xiao stopped. He could feel that he was already at the deepest part of the demonic sea secret realm. A terrifying aura was constantly being released. It was so strong that he could not breathe. Sky Tyrant Martial Soul. He had no choice but to release his Sky Tyrant Martial Soul to fight against it. Finally, he felt less uncomfortable. "Xiao Jin, are you okay?" Ling Xiao asked curiously. "Boss, not only am I fine, but I'm also very happy. Maybe we were wrong from the start," Xiao Jin said excitedly. "What's wrong?" Ling Xiao was confused. "Maybe there is no demonic sea beast king. Your master Qinbai also said that he was afraid of the demonic sea beast king, so he did not go to the deepest part. In other words, no one has seen the true face of the demonic sea beast king. And I can feel that there is no powerful beast in the deepest part of the demonic sea secret realm. It is only a ball of powerful energy and a remnant soul." Xiao Jin analyzed. "Yes, this is interesting." Thinking of this, Ling Xiao quickened his pace and rushed forward with Xiao Jin. Along the way, they encountered even more powerful demonic sea beast kings. The strongest one was actually at the late stage of the 12th level of hell. However, although it took some effort, it was still destroyed by Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin. As such, when they reached the deepest part of the demonic sea secret realm, Xiao Jin's strength had already broken through to the late stage of the 12th level of hell. At this time, his combat power had already surpassed Ling Xiao's. Just as you said, This is not a powerful beast at all. In front of Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin, there was only a ball of pure crimson sun energy. And the thing that was being protected inside was one of the remnant souls of the netherworld golden crow. Thinking of the reason why the demonic sea secret realm was formed, Ling Xiao suddenly understood. The reason why this guy created so many demonic sea beast kings was to protect himself and not let the dragon cult martial artists have a chance to get close to it. Unfortunately, it probably did not expect that Xiao Jin and it were of the same origin, so Xiao Jin could sense its aura. Xiao Jin had seen through its little trick, unlike Qinbai, who would be frightened by its terrifying aura. "Swallow it," Ling Xiao said. "Hee, boss, you don't have to tell me." Of course, Xiao Jin knew that its origin was actually the golden crow. After swallowing this remnant soul and energy, its strength would increase even more terrifyingly. He watched as Xiao Jin broke through. Ling Xiao sighed. Seems like choosing to come to the demonic sea secret realm was the right choice. Once Xiao Jin breaks through, it will probably be a demonic beast at the peak of the 12th level of hell. This strength has already reached Chun Bai's level. It should also be at the level of the Qin Nation's 5 elders. Next, I just need to focus on improving my cultivation and leave the matter of protecting my friends and family to Xiao Jin. What is that? After Xiao Jin swallowed the remnant soul of the golden crow, Ling Xiao discovered that there was actually a piece of purple-blue ice under the ball of blazing energy. Damn, what kind of ice is this? It can actually resist the heat of the netherworld golden crow without melting? Ling Xiao was very surprised, but his knowledge was limited. Thus, he summoned a Yuan Venerate and asked, "Master, what do you think this is?" Ling Xiao asked. Chapter 2803. It's not ice. Ling Xiao was a little puzzled. It looks like ice, but it's not. It's the purple lightning Yin thunder essence that only exists in the immortal court continent. Although it's not much, as long as you can refine it, I reckon that not only will your cultivation level be able to break through 2 small realms in the 12th level of hell, but you will also be able to condense the purple lightning Yin thunder essence. Furthermore, he could also condense a powerful purple electric Yin thunder battle constitution in the future, which required a general level battle constitution as a foundation. Your volcanic battle body is a general grade battle body, so it can be devoured. The purple lightning Yin thunder battle body is a king grade battle body. Once it's refined, you will benefit immensely. The Yuan Venerate replied, "That's a treasure." Ling Xiao was overjoyed when he heard what the Yuan Venerate said. He had thought that only little gold could benefit from this place. He had not expected that he would also benefit so much. "But Master, why are there different grades of battle bodies?" Ling Xiao asked curiously. "Of course there are. Your thunder battle body and lava battle body were both soldier grade battle bodies. After the fusion, your volcanic battle body became a general grade battle body. Generally, when a general grade battle body is cultivated to its peak, its offensive and defensive capabilities are equivalent to a 7th level immortal grade martial technique. A king grade battle body is even more impressive. When cultivated to its peak, it will most likely become a divine grade martial technique." The Yuan Venerate replied, "So strong." Ling Xiao was simply shocked when he heard this. However, based on what the Yuan Venerate had said, refining the purple lightning Yin thunder essence was relatively easy, but condensing the purple lightning Yin thunder battle body would be very difficult. However, he was not in a hurry. A general grade battle body was already enough for him. Furthermore, a general grade battle body could only be devoured after reaching its peak to assist in the formation of a king grade battle body. Right now, he just needed to break through his cultivation level first. He could take his time with a king grade battle body in the future. At this moment, Xiao Jin's body suddenly emitted a blazing light, and his body suddenly became incomparably huge. The terrifying aura frightened the demonic sea beast kings nearby, and they all fled. A moment later, Little Gold's body returned to normal, and its eyes shone with a sharp light. "Is it done?" Ling Xiao asked. "Yes." Xiao Jin said excitedly, "I didn't expect the demonic sea secret realm to bring me such great benefits this time. It allowed my strength to rise to the pinnacle of the 12th level of hell. Furthermore, my 9 underworlds' yellow springs' golden light has become stronger and more abundant. Very good. Little Gold, listen to me." They didn't expect that Ling Xiao would actually walk right into their trap. "Good lad, you've got guts. Although we don't have any grudges against you. Who asked you to offend Vice Sect Leader Yin? If you know what's good for you, you'd better cripple your own cultivation. That way you can still live. Otherwise, if the 4 of us join forces, you won't stand a chance." The black-clothed youth seemed to be the strongest of the 4. He was the leader. His cultivation had already reached the peak of the 11th level of hell in the first rotation of the yin-yang state. No wonder he was so confident. "Haha, compared to you, I'm much more merciful. Hand over all your demonic crystals, and I'll spare your lives." Ling Xiao smiled faintly. "Damn, you've got guts. How dare you steal our demonic crystals?" The black-clothed youth was stunned for a moment. Then he cursed, "You're asking for death." "You talk too much. Little Gold, do it." Ling Xiao couldn't be bothered to waste time with the black-clothed youth. He directly called out to Little Gold. Little Gold soared into the air and grew in the wind. His body instantly grew in size. Then a terrifying heat was released. The 4 guys who were talking nonsense were all blasted to the ground in an instant. The scorching heat completely enveloped them. Everyone felt as if their bodies were about to melt. "Damn, how can this bird be so strong? Ling Xiao hasn't even made a move yet. This time we're finished." Faced with this terrifying heat, the black-clothed youth and the others had no chance to resist. In front of this terrifying golden bird, they were like lambs waiting to be slaughtered. "Now, hand over your demonic crystals. Is there a problem?" Ling Xiao said coldly. "No problem, no problem. What the hell are you guys standing there for? Hurry up and hand over all your demonic crystals," the black-clothed youth shouted. His tough attitude from before was instantly gone. There was no other way. The situation was beyond his control. Their strength couldn't compare to Ling Xiao's. If they really fought head-on, only death would await them. They had witnessed Ling Xiao's coldness and cruelty. Chapter 2804. Not bad. With the strength of the 4 of you, getting 100 demonic energy stones and 2 imperial crystals in 2 days is not bad. After taking the items, Ling Xiao casually put them into his storage ring. "Next, I will ask you a few more questions. You better answer truthfully. Otherwise, it's not worth it to die here." Ling Xiao said with a smile. "Young sect master, just ask. We will definitely answer." The black-clothed youth was afraid and had already started to flatter Ling Xiao. What young sect master? How could he say that? Why are the 4 of you working together? Ling Xiao said coldly. "It was Yunlan who divided us into 9 groups. He was in one group, and the remaining 32 people were divided into 4 groups." The black-clothed youth did not dare to speak carelessly, because if he lied and his companions spoke the truth, then he would really be dead. "Oh, you divided yourselves into these groups to deal with me?" Ling Xiao asked again. "Yes." "How are the strength of each group divided?" "Most of them are about the same as our group. However, there are 2 groups that you have to be careful of. One of them is Yunlan. Although he is alone, he is comparable to more than 30 of us. The other group is made up of Tuobi Yunxiang, Cloud Demon, Cloud Ghost, and Cloud Demon." The black-clothed youth said again. "Very good. Then we will deal with them at the end." Ling Xiao smiled. With his and Little Gold's current strength, whether it was Tuoba Yunxiang's group or Yunlan's group, they were not their match. From today onwards, they could be more arrogant in the dragon cult. I have told you everything. Can you let us go now? The black-clothed youth looked at Ling Xiao in horror. Don't worry, I said I won't kill you. However, before I let you go, you have to swallow this first. Ling Xiao casually took out 4 pills and said, These are the soul-assimilating pills that I have improved. Together with my 4-leaf demonic eyes, I can easily control people with lower cultivation than me. Be obedient and become my people. I will definitely give Phoenix in the cloud a surprise. Ling Xiao didn't dare to underestimate Phoenix in the cloud. Therefore, he had to use all the methods he could think of. Ling Xiao forcefully fed the black-clothed youth and the other 3 soul-assimilating pills, and then controlled them with soul-assimilating pills. He had practically become Ling Xiao's puppet. Normally, they didn't seem to have any problems, but at critical times, as long as Ling Xiao had a thought, they would immediately pledge their loyalty to Ling Xiao. He had been forced to do so. Being constantly targeted by others and then finding trouble for him was not a good life. Even if he could resolve it every time, it was still a pain in the ass. Therefore, he decided to take the initiative to attack. In the scorching hot Devil Sea secret realm, for people were walking forward. Beside the road were the corpses of the Devil Sea beasts. F***CK, we've been searching for half a day, but there's still no trace of Ling Xiao. Could it be that brat has turned into a rat and burrowed into the ground? One of them couldn't help but curse. Don't be so long-winded. Find Ling Xiao and kill him. We'll be great contributors to Vice Leader Yun. When the time comes, he'll definitely reward us heavily. The leader of the group, a young man, reprimanded impatiently. Hee, are you looking for me? Suddenly, a chuckle sounded from behind the 4 of them. The 4 of them turned their heads to look in surprise. They found Ling Xiao standing there, looking at them with a smile. Kill him. The hunter, who was originally a little disappointed, suddenly became excited when he saw Ling Xiao. The leader didn't waste any time. He directly waved his hand, and the 4 of them rushed toward Ling Xiao together. Unfortunately, before they could reach Ling Xiao, they were enveloped by a terrifying heat. They fell to the ground. Ling Xiao used the same trick again, but this time he didn't waste any time. After taking the magic crystals, he fed them a soul-assimilating pill, used soul-assimilating pills to control the 4 of them, and hid. He sensed that another team was coming this way. Just right, the ambush would be done in one fell swoop. It only took a little more than a minute. In the distance, 4 figures quickly rushed over, seeing the other 4 people sitting on the ground, their skin almost glued to the skin from the heat. They couldn't help but be dumbfounded. What's going on? The newcomer asked. We were plotted against by Ling Xiao. He actually snatched the magic crystals. The leader, sitting there, said helplessly, A few pieces of trash, you can't even control Ling Xiao. Among the 4 newcomers, there was a fierce-looking woman. She was young, but she looked very ferocious. She didn't give any face to the 4 people who were defeated. What do you know? That Ling Xiao's strength can even defeat Moing. How can we be his opponent? Not to mention us. Even the 4 of you would be unlucky if you encountered him. The defeated leader scolded. Hee, I won't be like you pieces of trash who would be taught a lesson by Ling Xiao so easily. The woman ridiculed. Your ending won't be much different from hers. Ling Xiao walked out from the darkness and looked at the 4 newcomers with a smile. Bullshit, I'll take care of you now. The woman in the lead waved her hand and charged towards Ling Xiao. But when she rushed out, she suddenly found that the 3 people behind her didn't follow at all. She looked behind her in horror, only to find that the 3 men had been subdued by her men. What are you doing? The woman roared angrily. Idiot, don't you understand? We have already abandoned the darkness and joined the light. Now we are the people of the sect leader, the young sect leader. "You traitors should be dealt with." "You dare to betray the vice sect leader, you're crazy." Unfortunately, the woman only said such a sentence and felt that her shoulder was pressed down by someone. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on her, and she couldn't move. "They're not crazy, because the next 4 of you will be like them." Ling Xiao didn't waste any time and dealt with the 4 newcomers. So far, he had already dealt with 3 groups of people, and the time he spent was only slightly more than 10 minutes. There was still a long time before the Demon Sea Secret Realm trial ended. He had plenty of time to play slowly. "Next group." Ling Xiao called out to Xiao Jin and then left again. "Wait, young sect leader, what's wrong?" Ling Xiao turned around and asked the ferocious woman, "Young sect leader, I've offended you before. In order to atone for my sins, I'm willing to help you lure the remaining groups over." The woman said, "That's a good idea. It saves me the trouble of looking for them one by one. However, don't inform Yunlan and Tuoba Yunxiang's group first. Let's lure the other 4 groups over." Ling Xiao smiled. Although it was easy for him to find people, it was still troublesome to run around. Besides Yunlan and Tuoba Yunxiang's group, no one else could pose a threat to him. He could just lure them over and catch them all in one fell swoop. "I'll do it right away." Chapter 2805. In the spacious field, Ling Xiao sat cross-legged there, circulating his cultivation while waiting for the arrival of the enemy. The woman's signal for help had already been sent out. He believed that the other 4 teams would arrive soon. There was a tinge of tension in the air, as if it was the oppressive atmosphere before a storm. Silence! Silence! About half an hour later, Ling Xiao suddenly opened his eyes and looked in 3 directions. In those 3 directions, 4 teams were rushing over at high speed. "Very good. You can hide now. We'll take care of the rest ourselves." Ling Xiao waved his hand, ordering the people he had subdued with the soul assimilation spell to retreat. These people were not of much use here. It was better to let them hide and watch the show. The stronger he was, the more effective the soul assimilation spell would be. These people would not be able to resist. Yes. Not long after the 8 of them went into hiding, more than a dozen figures appeared above the gushing lava, stepping on the air. Everyone's speed was very fast, and everyone was very strong. After arriving, these people did not make any adjustments. While still in the air, they suddenly attacked. More than 10 attacks simultaneously blasted toward the seated Ling Xiao. His aura was overbearing and tyrannical, like the eruption of magma from a volcano. Boom! Just when these attacks were less than 3 meters away from Ling Xiao, a dazzling light flashed. A golden ball of light bloomed from Xiao Jin's body, forming a golden sphere. 16 attacks were completely blocked. So strong! No wonder they weren't your match. Just based on this move, apart from Tuoba Yunxiang and Yunlan's team, any of our teams would be doomed if they met you. Seeing that their attacks were ineffective, one of them was shocked and believed that the previous call for help was real. Although they found it strange that the person who had asked for help was not here, they did not think too much about it. In any case, Ling Xiao was vicious and merciless. Perhaps the person who had asked for help had already been smashed to pieces. Ling Xiao calmly raised his head and looked at the 16 outstanding youths of the dragon cult. What surprised him was that there were 3 more Yin-Yang realm martial artists in the early stage of the 12th level of hell. Furthermore, he was certain that these 3 people were definitely not Cloud Devil, Cloud Ghost, or Cloud Yao. By the looks of it, the demonic sea secret realm had not only given him and Little Gold a huge boost in strength, it had also allowed the 3 of them to achieve breakthroughs. He was already a peak Yin-Yang realm level 11 martial artist. It was not strange for him to break through at any time. But so what? It only added some excitement to his hunt. Very good. Ling Xiao smiled and nodded. 16 people, not one less. Now that everyone is here, It saves me the trouble of looking everywhere. Brat, I know you're very strong, but your arrogance will end here. Any one of us might not be a match for you, but with 4 of us working together, you won't stand a chance. The one who spoke was a youth with a dark complexion. Perhaps this was due to him cultivating some kind of special martial art. This person was one of the 3 yin-yang realm martial artists in the early stage of the 12th level of hell. He said coldly and valiantly, "Don't think that you can overturn the world just because you defeated 1 or 2 groups of martial artists. In the end, you're just one person. Even if you have a beast with you, you won't have any chance of turning the tables. There's only one ending for you, and that's death." Ling Xiao smiled casually and said, "Everyone knows how to say nice words. You think you're the hunter, and I'm the prey. You don't know that the moment we arrived at the demonic sea secret realm, the tables had turned. Now, Little Gold and I are the hunters, and you're just the pitiful prey. Not only are you pitiful, but you also don't know your own limits." He did not transform into a beast soul. Instead, he took out the white jade flying dragon sword. He held the sword hilt and waved it lightly. A powerful sword, Qi easily carved a 1-meter deep groove on the hard stone floor. "Come, I'll give you a chance to kill me. Let's see if you can grasp it. You're really arrogant. To be honest, there were people like you in the dragon cult before. Do you know what happened to them?" The one who spoke was a young man with a pale face. He looked sickly, but it was possible that he cultivated some special martial arts or had a special martial soul. After all, there were all kinds of strange things in this world. Martial souls were even more mysterious, especially special martial souls. There were all kinds of strange things. No one had seen all of them before. This person was very strong. Like the dark-skinned man, he was one of the 3 experts. "Wu La, Bai Shui, don't waste your breath on this guy. After breaking through, I haven't really fought with an expert. Let's just treat this kid as a sparring partner." This time it was a woman who spoke. However, this woman's figure was not complimentary. She was so strong that it made men despair. She was probably a strength-type existence. "That's true, Jiaohua. However, I don't agree with fighting alone. In order to complete the orders given by Vice Leader Yin, we can only bully with numbers," Wu La said coldly. "I agree." Bai Shui nodded and said, "Motherf asterisk her. Although this is very shameful, this kid is very strange. To be able to defeat Moing, he's definitely not simple. I agree with your decision. Then let's attack together." Jiahua also cursed. Following the orders of the 3, 16 people erupted with a terrifying aura at the same time. The nearby magma roared crazily because of this aura, creating waves of magma that were more than 10 meters tall. Bullying with numbers? I don't blame you. After all, this is what I'm looking forward to. Ling Xiao stood up and said to Xiao Jin, "You don't need to do anything. You've played enough. Help me keep an eye on the surrounding situation. Once the battle starts, Tuoba Yunxiang and Yunlan will most likely sense it." "No problem, boss." Xiao Jin nodded and flew off Ling Xiao's shoulder. He lazily lied down on a red-hot rock and yawned. Kill. 16 afterimages pounced at Ling Xiao at the same time. They did not hold back. They all used their most powerful attacks in an attempt to take down Ling Xiao as soon as possible. However, Ling Xiao only looked at these 16 people indifferently. Then he muttered to himself, "Let's reduce the number of people first." After saying that, he took a step forward. The surrounding environment suddenly changed. Scorching hell. This was the strengthened scorching hell. In addition to Ling Xiao's increase in cultivation, the power of scorching hell had become even more terrifying. The 16 people only saw the surrounding environment change in an instant and felt that something was wrong. Following that, someone let out a scream. A figure was on fire and fell to the ground. The ones who attacked him were the furious fire dragons of scorching hell. Chapter 2806. In just an instant, blood-curdling screams resounded. Out of the 16 people, 13 had fallen. Only 3 people were left standing: Wu La, Jiahua, and Bai Shui. However, even they were surrounded by the terrifying fire dragon and lava monster, unable to attack Ling Xiao. Now, do you still have the confidence to kill me? A cold smile appeared on Ling Xiao's face. He then used the demonic dragon phantom steps and punched 3 times, knocking Wu La, Jiahua, and Bai Shui to the ground. Immediately, he withdrew Scorching Hell. From the beginning to the end of the battle, less than a minute had passed. All 16 people had been defeated and lost the ability to fight. Wu La and the others did not expect this at all. As for the 2 groups hiding in the dark, they were even more astonished. Involuntarily, the effect of the soul assimilation pill became stronger. Ling Xiao did not waste time with these people. Although the battle did not last long, the scene was not bad. He believed that Yun Lan, Tuoba Yunxiang, and the others had already seen it. He had to quickly take the demonic energy crystal for himself first. Then he would use the soul assimilation pill to control these 16 people. When everything was over, Ling Xiao looked in a certain direction. "All of you hide." His words were naturally directed at Wu La and the others. "Yes, young sect master." Wu La and the others also hid in a concealed place. A moment later, as expected, Tuoba Yunxiang's group arrived. "You're late." Ling Xiao looked indifferently at Tuoba Yunxiang and the others and said, "We're not late. Even without those trash, the 4 of us are enough to take your life." Tuoba Yunxiang coldly said, "Is that so? It seems like everyone who wants to kill me will say this. I have already reminded you. If you kill me, I will also kill you." Ling Xiao coldly said. This Tuoba Yunxiang's cultivation was higher than his. Therefore, the soul assimilation pill's effect was not good. He could only kill him. Enough nonsense. We'll know who killed who soon. You 3 don't need to make a move first. Tuoba Yunxiang planned to take revenge himself. Moreover, he did not think that he was weaker than Ling Xiao. Furthermore, the cloud demons, cloud ghosts, and cloud demons all relied on the power of the devouring specter to forcefully increase their strength. Their actual combat power was not that great. If they joined forces, they might actually become a burden to him. "All right, if that's the case, then make your move. I'll give you a quick death." Ling Xiao put away the white jade flying dragon sword and took out 2 8 immortal swords. Facing Tuoba Yunxiang, he did not plan to underestimate him. "Remember, I won't underestimate you in any way. As the saying goes, even a lion uses its full strength to hunt a rabbit. You should understand. I'm not an idiot like Demon Shadow." Tuoba Yunxiang's body shook. What appeared behind him was actually a martial spirit that was completely different from the Tuoba families. It wasn't the cyan demonic bull martial soul, but a strange, pitch-black martial soul. "This is our Tuoba family's ancestral martial spirit, the dreary gold martial spirit." As he spoke, the black metal instantly enveloped his entire body. In the end, it actually turned his skin into a color similar to Wula's. Even his body seemed to have become a lot bigger. At the same time, the large saber in his hand also seemed to have fused with the martial spirit. There is actually a feeling of man and saber becoming one. This is not the mental state of man and saber becoming one. This is the true state of man and saber becoming one. Dreary gold martial spirit? What an interesting martial spirit. Ling Xiao looked at Tuoba Yunxiang and felt that he is somewhat appreciative of his talent. This person doesn't have the bad habits of Tuoba Yunfan and Tuoba Yu. Furthermore, he didn't give up his ancestral martial spirit for other things. Instead, he brought it to greater heights. In some sense, Tuoba Yunxiang's strength has already far surpassed his grandfather, Tuoba Fengdan, not only in strength but also in vision. To be honest, I really don't want to kill you, but in this battle, I will do my best to respect you. He won't use his full strength, but he will do his best to display the power that he can. so that even if Tuoba Yunxiang dies in battle, he can die in a dignified manner. While speaking, he has already activated Volcano War Body. Scalding hot magma enveloped his entire body. His skin seems to have turned into magma, and it is very oppressive. Even the 2-8 immortal swords in his hands are wrapped in hot magma. At the same time, lightning is leaping within the magma. This is the Volcano War Body. Heavenly lightning above and magma below. It is a perfect general-level war body. With this Volcano War Body, there is no need for the beast spirit transformation. Otherwise, it will feel like bullying. Don't you still have the beast spirit transformation? Why don't you use it? Do you think you can defeat me with this Volcano War Body? Tuoba Yunxiang is somewhat angry. His joints actually emitted a strange sound of metal clashing. This is not the Volcano War Body, but the Volcano War Body, a general-level war body. If you know about the general-level war body, you should know that I didn't underestimate you. Ling Xiao said indifferently. General-level war body? I have heard of it. All right. Let's see if your general-level war body or my dreary gold martial spirit is more powerful. Tuoba Yunxiang raised the large saber in his hand. For a moment, the terrifying saber chi seems to be able to split the heavens and earth. It makes people's breathing a little hurried. That terrifying saber intent is not to be underestimated. All right. Ling Zhao's 2 swords emitted sword intent and collided with the saber intent in the air. Then he took a step forward with his right foot, using the demonic dragon phantom body technique. His body shot out like an arrow leaving the bow. In the blink of an eye, he is within the range of Tuoba Yunxiang's saber chi. You want to fight in close combat with me? You must be tired of living. Tuoba Yunxiang sneered and slashed with the large saber in his hand. Cracking sounds can be heard in the air. It seems like the space is being torn apart by the saber. The invisible saber chi slashed the boulders in the surroundings into halves. Hearing the terrifying sound of the saber cutting through the air above his head, Ling Xiao only smiled faintly. He raised the 8 Immortals' sword in his right hand. The crimson and purplish-blue light intertwined and collided with the large saber. What violent strength! Ling Xiao thought to himself. This terrifying blow was practically going to press him to the ground, but it was only almost. Ling Xiao's body still maintained its balance. Although it is slightly bent, everything is going according to his plan. The 8 Immortals' sword in his left hand suddenly pierced out. A powerful sword, chi, emitted from the tip of the sword. Shadow Sword Demon. Although this move is not the strongest of Ling Zhao's martial techniques, it is the most suitable. Its power is not bad, and its release speed is fast. With his current strength, this move can seriously injure Tuoba Yunxiang or even kill him. The terrifying sword chi exploded at Tuoba Yunxiang's chest. Then it pierced through Tuoba Yunxiang's body. Tuoba Yunxiang has no choice but to retreat and avoid Ling Zhao's attack. No blood. Although the sword pierced through Tuoba Yunxiang, there is no blood. Chapter 2807. Touching the wound on his body, Tuoba Yunxiang sneered and said, Ling Xiao, you are indeed extraordinary. You have an astonishing movement skill, an outstanding martial skill, and a pure battle skill. You are truly astonishing. However, once I fuse with my primal metal martial spirit, I have an undying body. You can't kill me. Looking at the wound that has already healed, Ling Xiao said indifferently, I don't believe that there is an undying body in this world. Your martial spirit only allows you to elementalize your body the instant I attack. It is not strange for you to say it. So what if you know? You still can't break it. Tuoba Yunxiang said coldly. Is that so? However, in my opinion, your elementalization can only affect a part of your body. Even if your entire body can be elementalized, your body will still exist. It will only be condensed into a small ball and hidden away. In the end, elementalization still needs to be done around the body. What if I destroy your entire body? Speaking till here, Ling Xiao took a deep breath. The two swords in his hands pointed at Tuoba Yunxiang. A terrifying sword intent pervaded the entire space. Kill! Suddenly he roared. His two swords spat out terrifying sword chi that shot towards Tuoba Yunxiang. Humph, that move didn't even injure me. How can an ordinary sword skill injure me? Tuoba Yunxiang snorted disdainfully. He brandished his large saber and charged towards Ling Xiao. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao's sword chi exploded in the air and shot towards Tuoba Yunxiang like a rain of flowers. Meteor Sword Art's second move, Heavenly Fire. Indeed, it was as Tuoba Yunxiang had said. Ling Xiao's attack was truly not strong. That was because it was just an ordinary jade grade sword skill. This is a move that Ling Xiao learned in the past. It has been a long time since he used it. However, what he wants is not the power. The sword chi descended like heavenly fire and hit Tuoba Yunxiang's body. Countless tiny holes appeared. Most of the holes did not show any signs of bleeding. At this moment, Ling Xiao's taiji eye caught an extremely small trace of blood. So it's there. It's time for this battle to end. Devil Dragon Phantom, Sword Devil Dragon, the descent of the Black Immortal. In that instant, Ling Xiao's body seemed to have transformed into a sword-shaped demonic dragon. He arrived in front of Tuoba Yunxiang in an instant. The second level of the immortal grade martial skill was executed and the sword pierced through Tuoba Yunxiang's body. In terms of speed, Tuoba Yunxiang would never be able to catch up to him. Therefore, this sword strike accurately struck Tuoba Yunxiang's body. This body was only the size of a fist and was wrapped in layers of primal gold. This sword directly pierced through the body. Blood seeped out of the metal. Tuoba Yunxiang suddenly knelt on the ground, and his face was pale and bloodless. Then he cupped his hands and said, "Brother Ling, perhaps I misunderstood you before. Moreover, I've already tried my best to take revenge. Not only did I not kill you, but I also almost lost my life. At least I didn't let down the Tuoba family. After all, they were the ones who let me down first." "Let you down?" Ling Xiao was somewhat curious. "Let's not talk about the past." Tuoba Yunxiang sighed. However, a scene that made his heart turn cold still appeared in his mind. That year, Domineering Blade Ghost Li received orders from Phoenix in the Cloud to go to Frosty Frost Town and threaten the Tuoba family to submit to him. At that time, Ghost Li's hostage was originally Tuoba Yunfan. However, the Tuoba family thought that Tuoba Yunxiang's talent was inferior to Tuoba Yunfan's, and actually swapped Tuoba Yunxiang and Tuoba Yunfan, sending them to Domineering Blade Ghost Li as a hostage. At that time, Tuoba Yunxiang was already sensible. His mournful cries did not receive any pity from his family. From that time onwards, his heart turned cold towards the Tuoba family. This time, he could take revenge on Ling Xiao for the Tuoba family. It could be considered as a repayment for the Tuoba family's kindness in giving birth to him. In a sense, the previous Tuoba Yunxiang was already dead. The current Tuoba Yunxiang was alive because Ling Xiao had given him life. This is a blood spirit pill. If you trust me, take it. I guarantee that you'll recover very quickly. In the following time, you still have time to obtain some demonic energy crystals. Chapter 2808. Tuoba Yunxiang, if you trust me, then immediately consume this blood spirit pill. I guarantee that you will recover quickly. Although it is impossible for you to obtain the first two places, if you hurry, you might be able to obtain the third place. You will also be able to cultivate the demonic dragon possession, but it will be incomplete. Ling Xiao comforted Tuoba Yunxiang. He wouldn't return something that he had obtained. After all, it was his spoils of war. Giving Tuoba Yunxiang a blood spirit pill was already merciful enough. "Many thanks." Tuoba Yunxiang didn't hesitate and took it in one bite. In his opinion, his life was already in Ling Xiao's hands, and Ling Xiao could do whatever he wanted with him. There was no need to do anything to a pill. This was the first time he had taken a blood spirit pill, and the effects were excellent. With one pill, his injuries were instantly healed by more than half. After a while, he would probably be completely healed. Not only that, but he could also feel that his cultivation had increased a little as a result, and there were signs of a breakthrough. I wanted to kill you, but you treated me like this. I am truly ashamed. Tuoba Yunxiang sighed with emotion. If Brother Ling has any instructions in the future, just say the word. As long as I can do it, I will definitely help. No need to be so polite. I treated you like this because I can see that your nature is not bad. Your conduct is much better than some people. Ling Xiao smiled and said, Go. While there is still time, I should go find Yunlan and completely end this trial. Yunlan should be fighting with Mu Qing now. I saw them when I came over. They are 2 miles southeast. Tuoba Yunxiang said. Why is he fighting with Mu Qing? Doesn't this person like Mu Qing a lot? Ling Xiao didn't expect that Yunlan would actually fight with Mu Qing. An innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth. Mu Qing accidentally found a treasure, and Yunlan saw it. Tuoba Yunxiang said, All right, I got it. Let's meet again. Ling Xiao cupped his hands and stepped into the air, instantly disappearing into the distance. Looking in the direction Ling Xiao disappeared, Tuoba Yunxiang revealed a sincere smile. I didn't think that I, Tuoba Yunxiang, would be able to meet such an outstanding person. Maybe he can help me break free from tyrannical blade, ghost, Li's restraints. Everyone knew that he was tyrannical blade, Gili's direct disciple, but they didn't know that tyrannical blade, Gili treated him like a slave. All the dangerous and arduous tasks were left to him. Although he had gotten used to it over the years, he was still very unhappy. He wanted to break free from tyrannical blade, ghost, Li's restraints, but his own strength was not enough. Perhaps with Ling Xiao's help he could succeed. Ling Xiao quickly arrived at the place Tuoba Yunxiang mentioned. Tuoba Yunxiang did not lie. At this moment, Yunlan was fighting with Mu Qing. Mu Qing's cultivation was at the late stage of the 12th level of hell, but against Yunlan, he was actually suppressed miserably. Even though he wouldn't be defeated in a short period of time, he still wouldn't be a match for Zhang Xian as time went on. Mu Qing, be obedient and give that treasure to me. With me here, no one in the dragon cult can bully you. Why must you insist on being my enemy? Yunlan's attacks didn't stop and even showed signs of speeding up. However, he was still saying disgusting words. Beast in human clothing, you make it sound so nice. I obtained this thing first. If you really cared about me and cherished me, you wouldn't have snatched it from me. Didn't you always ask me which part of you can't compare to Ling Xiao? I can tell you now that there is no part of you that is better than Ling Xiao. It is your shamelessness that surpasses his by a lot. Mu Qing said with grief and indignation. Bitch, you can't be thinking of giving that thing to Ling Xiao, right? You shameless bitch. Looks like I can't have a good chat with you. Today, I will execute you on the spot. Just like how my master treated your master back then. Ha ha ha, back then, Xiao Miu also liked Qin Bai and didn't care about Phoenix in the cloud. What happened in the end? After being raped, she still obediently followed Phoenix in the cloud and followed my master. Yunlan laughed crazily and proudly. She didn't treat that ugly thing as a shame at all. Instead, she treated it as a kind of pride. You are right. I want to give this thing to Ling Xiao. He is different from you. Back in the 8 Immortals County, I was careless and fell into the trap of the Shadow Devil sect. As a result, I temporarily lost all my skills and almost became a blood sacrifice. It was Ling Xiao who saved me. Maybe he doesn't even know me and doesn't remember me, but I remember him. He is my benefactor and a great hero in my heart. You disgusting beast in human clothing. Even if I die, I will not let you have your way. Mu Qing didn't know that Ling Xiao had arrived. She had hidden this matter in her heart for a long time and had never told anyone. Today, she knew that she might not live for long, so she said these words. No wonder. In that case, I don't need to have any more thoughts. UB*TCH, go to hell. Yunlan snorted coldly, and her attacks became even fiercer and fiercer. Her previous attacks were only to seriously injure Mu Qing and seize the treasure in Mu Qing's hands. Then, her current attacks were purely to take her life. Mu Qing resisted very hard, but she still persevered. She didn't know why, but Ling Xiao's figure appeared in her mind at this moment. Ding! Suddenly, a stalwart figure blocked in front of Mu Qing. This person actually used his hand to block Yunlan's ferocious attack. Ling Xiao, I'm not dreaming, am I? Mu Qing looked at the stalwart figure in front of her and felt like she was in a dream. It was too unreal. Am I not a hero in your heart? Of course. A hero has to appear at a critical moment. Ling Xiao smiled. This girl was really naive. Just because he unintentionally saved her once, she could not forget Ling Xiao. Such a loyal and righteous girl. How could he bear to see her being bullied by Yunlan? Ling Xiao, it's you again. Why is it you again? You're ruining my good business again. When Yunlan saw Ling Xiao, it was as if she saw an irreconcilable enemy. She was simply furious to the extreme. A shameless person like you naturally needs a great hero like me to teach you a lesson. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Great hero? You really think you're some big shot? Where's Tuoba Yunxiang? Where's Yun Gui, Yun Mo, and the rest? That bunch of trash. Why can't they even stop trash like you? The reason why Yunlan dared to attack Mu Qing was that she calculated that Ling Xiao could not arrive in time. But now, not only did Ling Xiao arrive, but he also arrived in time. This made her unable to understand and unable to accept. They are indeed trash, but you're not much either. Ling Xiao looked at Yunlan and said in a cold voice, You're even more trash than them. Furthermore, you're a scum. Courting death. Yunlan snorted coldly and suddenly attacked Ling Xiao. Chapter 2809. Ling Xiao, do you think I'm stupid? If you and Mu Qing work together, I'm really no match for you. But remember, I won't let you off. In the distance, Yunlan snorted coldly and disappeared. Damn, you haven't given me the magic crystal stones yet. Ling Xiao helplessly watched Yunlan escape. He had no choice. That guy also knew the demonic dragon phantom and was not slower than him. If he wanted to escape, he would not be able to catch up with him. Just when Ling Xiao was feeling helpless, he suddenly heard a scream. Yunlan, who had escaped, was blasted back. It turned out that Xiao Jin had stopped this guy. Yunlan never thought that he would be defeated by Xiao Jin. For a moment, it was really hard for him to accept. Kill him. Ling Xiao called out and rushed forward as well. At this time, Yunlan understood that he could only escape. Facing this fierce golden bird and Ling Xiao, who seemed to have broken through. If Mu Qing was added to the mix, he would not be a match for them. But how could he escape? Suddenly he had an idea. He took off the storage ring on his hand and threw it into the boiling magma. Ling Xiao, I'll give you these magic crystal stones, the spirit stones and monster cores inside. Seeing the storage ring, Ling Xiao hurriedly rushed over. Compared to Yunlan's life, he was naturally more interested in this. Yunlan was no longer a match for Xiao Jin. Even if he fought against him, he would not be able to gain an advantage. It could be said that even if he was outside, he could cook whenever he wanted. But that storage ring was different. Generally, once a storage ring was out of the protection of the internal force and fell into the hot magma, it would melt instantly. The things inside would probably be ruined. This idea was just a thought. Ling Xiao first used the Tai Chi eye to confirm that the storage ring was real. Then he rushed over. It was during this time that Yunlan escaped again. He avoided Xiao Jin and flew away from the path where no one blocked him. He, Yunlan, had never been in such a sorry state before. He actually had to run for his life. To him, this was simply a great humiliation. Ling Xiao, just you wait. Once we get out of here, I'll definitely settle the score with you. This isn't over yet. Do you think I'm scared of you, idiot? Ling Xiao took the storage ring and checked the things inside. He couldn't help but be overjoyed. It seemed like Yunlan had removed all the other things in the box in order to store more magic stones. But even so, the magical crystals inside were enough for Ling Xiao to enjoy for a long time. To put it bluntly, the magical energy crystal stone was a special kind of stone that contained heat energy. Compared to the spirit stones, although the energy of the magical energy crystal stone was single, it was purer. It was more useful for cultivation and setting up formations. Mu Qing, are you all right? Ling Xiao turned around and asked Mu Qing, I'm fine, but you've become enemies with Yunlan in order to help me. I'm afraid it won't be good in the future. Mu Qing said worriedly, You don't have to worry about that. Even if he didn't come to find me, I would have gone to find him. That scum actually kidnapped the Red Witch and even beat her up. If I hadn't arrived in time, I'm afraid she would have been killed. Ling Xiao gritted his teeth and said, I didn't expect that. He kept saying that he liked you, but he actually attacked you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let you go alone. Hearing Ling Xiao's words, Mu Qing felt a sweet feeling in her heart. It was not in vain that she had almost been killed by Yunlan in order to protect that treasure. This is for you. Mu Qing took out something that looked like a heart from the storage ring. However, this thing flowed with blazing magma. It emitted an extremely high temperature. Could this be? Yes, it's the kiln fire heart. Mu Qing nodded and said, I'm sure you know that in places where magma accumulates all year round, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance that a kiln fire heart will appear. Refining the kiln fire heart can not only change the nature of one's inner strength, but it can also transform ordinary inner strength into a special inner strength, the molten power, which is much stronger than ordinary inner strength. Moreover, for warriors with special constitutions, they can also obtain the molten martial soul. Others might not be able to do this, but I believe you can. In addition, the kiln fire heart can also strengthen magma attribute beast souls, making them stronger. I remember that you have a magma Cerberus beast soul. Of course, your cultivation will also improve. Ling Xiao naturally knew that the biggest effect of the kiln fire heart was to change the characteristics of one's inner strength. As mentioned before, there were generally 4 levels of inner strength. First, ordinary inner strength. This was the inner strength that most warriors possessed. Whether it was the vital essence of the past or the yin-yang essence of the present, they were all different forms of inner strength. In terms of levels, it was still ordinary inner strength. Second, special inner strength. This was inner strength that was fused with the changes of the 5 elements. Warriors with special martial souls or special martial arts could possess inner strength that was a bit stronger than ordinary inner strength. Third, origin inner strength. This was the core of inner strength. It was the essence of inner strength and was very powerful. Ordinary warriors wouldn't use origin inner strength to fight, but they would definitely use it when their lives were on the line. Some powerful warriors were able to condense all their inner strength into origin inner strength, making it incomparably powerful. Fourth, profound inner strength. This was the strongest inner strength that Ling Xiao knew of. It was even more terrifying than origin inner strength, and he possessed this kind of inner strength. This was also why Ling Xiao's inner strength always had the advantage when clashing with other warriors. Ling Xiao had to thank the Human King for this. If it wasn't for the Human King's guidance, his inner strength would only have reached the special inner strength stage. Of course, the kiln fire heart wasn't useless to him. It could be transformed into the molten martial soul or used to increase the rank of the magma Cerberus. But that would be too much of a waste. After thinking about it, he shook his head and said, "This is a treasure that you worked so hard to obtain. How could I have the qualifications to possess it? You don't want it?" Mu Qing was stunned for a moment before she threw the kiln fire heart into the magma. Ling Xiao hastily rushed over and grabbed the kiln fire heart. He bitterly smiled and said, "I don't want it. You can use it." The molten fire heart's molten fire energy is considered top-notch among special inner strengths. It's almost twice as strong as ordinary inner strength. It's definitely a good item. And even if you don't use it, you can sell it for at least 100 million low-grade spirit stones. I already said that I'm giving it to you, so it's a gift. Mu Qing's stubbornness made Ling Xiao feel helpless. All right, I accept it. But can I give it to you? Ling Xiao asked. It would be a waste for him to use it. He might as well give it to Xiao Jin. Xiao Jin relied on absorbing heat to increase his cultivation. This kiln fire heart was just right for him. When Xiao Jin wanted to break through the 13th layer of hell, the kiln fire heart would help him break through. Who are you giving it to? Chapter 2810. Of course I'm going to give this molten core to Xiao Jin. Ling Xiao replied. Hearing that he was going to give it to Xiao Jin, Mu Qing heaved a sigh of relief. She was really worried that Ling Xiao would give it to the Red Witch. Although she and the Red Witch were good sisters, a woman's mind was a little strange. Speaking of Xiao Jin, he was able to send Yunlan flying just now. Isn't that too powerful? Yunlan, that fellow, is extremely powerful even among martial artists at the later stage of the 12th level of the Hell in Yinyang realm. Looking at the cute and obedient Xiao Jin, Mu Qing couldn't help but ask, "Girls just love these cute little animals. Don't underestimate him. He's stronger than me now." Ling Xiao smiled and said, "I'll have to rely on him to support me in the future." "Are you serious? I believe that he's very strong. But I always feel that you're stronger. In my heart, you're really a very mysterious and powerful existence." Mu Qing knew that Ling Xiao had heard what she said before, so she let go now. In front of Ling Xiao, she was like a fan, expressing her admiration to her heart's content. "Well, thank you for thinking so highly of me." Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. "How many demonic energy crystals have you collected? Don't just look for trouble. You have to understand that the demonic energy crystals are related to the demonic dragon possession." Mu Qing didn't feel that there was anything wrong with asking this. In her eyes, Ling Xiao was as close as Xiao Muyu. They were both her family. "Well, to be honest, I don't know how many I have. I estimate that I have at least 500 to 600. Ling Xiao had never counted, so he just gave a number casually. 500 to 600. Did you get the demonic Sea Emperor gem? Mu Qing asked. Yes, that's great. In this way, even if those people give all the demonic energy crystals to Yunlan, you should still be able to get 3rd place. Mu Qing heaved a sigh of relief. Only 3rd place? That's right. I have about 800 magic energy stones. You have to work harder. Otherwise, I'll give you my own magic energy stones as well. Mu Qing said with a smile. Let's not. I took Yunlan's magic crystals purely because that guy is hateful. You're different. But this guy doesn't seem to have a lot of magic crystals. Only about 100 or so. What has he been doing for so long? Ling Xiao checked Yunlan's storage ring and was a little confused. After all, with Yunlan's strength, she should have gotten more than Mu Qing. I vaguely heard him say that he was delayed by some special mission. Mu Qing thought for a moment and said, "However, I don't know what kind of mission it is. You should be careful. I suspect that this special mission is either targeted at you or the sect master." "Thank you for your reminder. I understand." Ling Xiao nodded. He also believed that Mu Qing's words were correct. However, it was very difficult to guess exactly what this conspiracy was. Perhaps he would only know after leaving the demonic sea secret realm. Then you should hurry up and get more magic crystals, Mu Qing urged. All right. Ling Xiao did not tell Mu Qing what he had done before. Although Mu Qing was very reliable, she was too straightforward. If he told her, it was very likely that she would reveal it because of some unnatural behavior. After all, Phoenix in the Cloud was an old fox. He turned and left, but he kept hiding near Mu Qing to prevent Yinlan from coming back. When the time for the demonic sea secret realms trial was up, everyone was directly teleported out of the secret realm. Every disciple of the demon dragon religion had an identity card. This identity card was very special. At the critical moment, it could be teleported together as long as you didn't reject it. The moment Ling Xiao appeared, he felt that he was being targeted. The terrifying light from Phoenix in the Cloud and Yunlan's eyes almost killed him on the spot. However, Ling Xiao only smiled faintly. Previously, when his cultivation was low, he didn't do anything. Now that his cultivation had broken through, what was there to be afraid of? Moreover, his little gold was now a great killing machine. Whoever dared to provoke him shouldn't blame him for being merciless. Disciple, are you all right? Chun Bai walked over and blocked the terrifying pressure from Phoenix in the Cloud for Ling Xiao. He then asked with a smile, I'm fine. What can happen to me? I'm not the one who's in trouble. Ling Xiao said with a smile, Strange. Why can't I see through Little Gold's strength? When Chen Bai looked at Little Gold on Ling Xiao's shoulder, he frowned slightly and was shocked. Previously, he could clearly determine that Little Gold's strength was at the middle stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. But now, Little Gold gave him the feeling that it was a cloud of fog. He couldn't see its true strength at all. It's good that you can't see through it. Master, it has gained much more benefits this time. Ling Xiao said, with Master's wisdom, you should have known that the reason why I insisted on participating in the trial of the Demon Sea secret realm was actually because of Little Gold. I know, but I didn't expect it to improve so quickly. If even I can't see through its strength, then it's probably as strong as me at the very least. Chen Bai lowered his voice. Haha, you have good eyes. Ling Xiao didn't need to hide Little Gold from Chen Bai. He already knew Chen Bai's character very well after interacting with him many times. Moreover, the two of them had been through life and death together. Not only were they master and disciple, but they had also been through life and death together. Other than the Sky Tyrant martial soul, there was nothing wrong with telling Chen Bai other secrets. The key to the Sky Tyrant martial soul was too special. It was something that could tempt even the king of sovereigns in the immortal court continent. It was better to take it easy. The fewer people who knew, the better it was for him. Damn, what kind of monster is this? It made such a terrifying breakthrough in 3 days. My dear disciple, you've really gotten yourself a good treasure, but you have to keep it a secret. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome if you're targeted. Chen Bai reminded him. Little Gold, did you hear that? I told you to release some aura before. Don't be so mysterious. Ling Xiao said to Little Gold. As soon as he finished speaking, Little Gold released the aura of the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm. TSK, has he got such great benefits? What about you? Are you sure there's no problem? Can you get first place in the trial? Chun Bai asked. Easy. Ling Xiao replied. After parting with Mu Qing, he hid in the dark and counted the number of demonic energy crystals he had. To be honest, he was shocked. It was completely different from what he had estimated. Not to mention getting first place in this trial. If he really took out all of them, it would probably scare people to death. So this time he was only prepared to take out 1/3 of them as the trial's result to the sect. The remaining 2/3 would be left for Little Gold to eat as snacks. He could also use some for setting up formations and cultivation. Chapter 28:11 Easy? Don't be careless. Whether it's Yunlan or Mu Qing, they're not easy to deal with. Moreover, if I'm not wrong, the other disciples will most likely give all their demon energy crystals to Yunlan and the others. In fact, this isn't a fair competition. Although Chunbai knew this, there was nothing he could do about it. In the Demon Sea secret realm, as long as one could obtain demon energy crystals, it was considered a skill. Whether it was snatching or taking, it wasn't against the rules. This was the dragon cult, the demon cult style. Master, from the beginning of this trial, I was very clear in my heart. If I said it was easy, it was easy. Ling Xiao said indifferently, "What a joke. Other than Mu Qing, everyone's demon energy crystals had been snatched by him. How could this result be unexpected? Although you're young and frivolous, I really like your domineering attitude. This is the heart of an expert. No matter who your opponent is or how strong they are, you can't lose in terms of aura. You've done well." Chunbai said with a smile, "Not only do I not lose in terms of aura, I'm really confident that I can beat them." From the day Ling Xiao obtained the Mountain River martial spirit, he had already made up his mind. He had the martial spirit that the human king had used before. He had the strongest martial spirit in the mystic world. If he couldn't become the strongest, it would be a failure. Now that the Mountain River martial spirit had evolved into the Sky Tyrant martial spirit, it had become a unique martial spirit that belonged to him. That was what he thought. Whether it was Yunlan or Chen Songxiang, they were just passers-by on his path. He really didn't treat these people as real opponents, because they weren't worthy, and because he couldn't lose. Why do I feel that Vice Sect Master Yin and the others are very angry with you? Did you do something in there? Chunbai suddenly asked. He could feel that Phoenix in the cloud, Yunlan, and the others couldn't wait to skin Ling Xiao alive. That kind of hatred was definitely not ordinary. There was even a trace of blood at the corner of Yunlan's mouth. She was so angry that she vomited blood. It's nothing much. I just borrowed some magic energy stones from them and was lucky enough to obtain the kiln fire core. It's just a small matter. It's not worthy of praise, nor is it worthy of their hatred. Ling Xiao said casually, "Borrow." Chunbai suddenly realized something. He didn't know whether to laugh or be surprised. This disciple of his was always full of surprises. When we return to the demonic dragon city, I will announce the results of this trial in front of everyone. I don't want anyone to accuse me of abusing my power for personal gain. Ghostly, you should go as well. After all, your disciple is also participating in this trial. Chunbai could roughly guess what Ling Xiao had done. Of course, he wanted to use this matter to suppress Phoenix in the cloud. Many people had already gathered in the demonic dragon city square. The higher-ups of the demonic dragon sect, as well as many middle and lower disciples, were all present. Those who had nothing important to do came to join in the fun. Seeing Yunlan's ashen face, everyone couldn't help but guess. Could it be that Ling Xiao actually obtained more magic energy stones than senior brother Yunlan? Don't joke around. Let alone senior brother Yunlan, senior brother Yunmo, senior brother Yungue, and senior brother Yunyao. There's no way that Ling Xiao could surpass them. That's right. I'm guessing that Vice Sect leader Yen's people wanted to kill Ling Xiao in the demonic sea secret realm, but failed. That's why they're so angry. After all, Ling Xiao didn't give Vice Sect leader Yin any face and even harmed the third and second sect elders. That makes sense. Everyone seemed to think that this was the most logical reason. No one thought that Ling Xiao would be able to obtain first place in the magic energy stones competition, because as long as one had a brain, they would know that Ling Xiao participated in this trial by himself against more than 30 people. It would be strange if he could win. All right, don't make a ruckus. Next, it's time to announce the results of this demonic sea secret realm trial. Disciples who participated in the trial will turn in the magic energy stones you obtained. The number of magic energy stones you handed in will determine your results. Ling Xiao and Tuoba Yunxiang are new, so you two will be placed at the end. The others will start according to their ranking among the upper disciples. Chen Bai purposely used his privilege to put Ling Xiao at the end to leave some suspense. However, after Chen Bai finished speaking, no one came up for a long time. Everyone couldn't help but discuss. What's going on? Don't tell me he didn't even get a magic energy stone? Isn't that too embarrassing? Impossible. After all, he's an upper disciple. Even the lowest ranking disciple is at the late stage of the Yin-Yang realm's 11th level of hell. With such cultivation, how could he not get a magic energy stone? That's true. However, if he really didn't get a magic energy stone, then Vice Sect Leader Yin and the First Sect Elder won't be able to show their faces. After all, apart from Mu Qing, Tuoba Yunxiang, and Ling Xiao, everyone else is a disciple of their two sections. Amidst the discussion, the First Sect Elder couldn't help but ask, "What the hell are you doing? I asked you to hand in your magic energy stones. Why are you dilly-dallying?" The 33rd ranked upper disciple was his disciple, so he was very unhappy. When that person heard the First Sect Elder's question, he suddenly knelt on the ground and said loudly, reporting to the First Sect Elder, "Disciple didn't get a magic energy stone." What? Hearing this, everyone was stunned, including Qin Bai. He thought that he had guessed correctly. Ling Xiao was really ruthless. He didn't leave a single magic energy stone for others. You should at least leave a few. As for the others, they were in disbelief, especially the First Sect Elder and Phoenix in the cloud. They knew that Yunlan's magic energy stones had been snatched by Ling Xiao. However, Yunlan had used the following period of time to kill a few demonic sea beast kings and obtained some king crystals to make up for it. It had to be said that this guy had another mission in the beginning. Otherwise, if he really wanted to get the magic energy stones, he might not lose to Ling Xiao. Of course, the premise was that Ling Xiao didn't snatch his magic energy stones. However, Phoenix in the cloud didn't expect that the others had also been robbed. Could it be that Ling Xiao didn't let a single person go? Trash next. Phoenix in the cloud was anxious. He didn't care that Chen Bai was still present and directly gave the order. Chen Bai didn't say anything. If you're anxious, then be anxious. After all, it's time for you to make a fool of yourself. Seeing that you're going to make a fool of yourself, I won't haggle over this small matter with you. In the end, the 32nd ranked disciple came up and still got nothing. Get lost. Next. Phoenix in the cloud was on the verge of exploding. The onlookers felt that things weren't that simple. If only one person didn't get a magic energy stone, it would be understandable. However, two people didn't get a magic energy stone in a row. It was obvious that something had happened to him. The 31st ranked disciple also got nothing. 30, 29, 28. Chapter 28:12. Ha ha ha, I say, Brother Yin. First Elder, what's wrong with you disciples? You didn't even get a single demonic crystal. This is the first time something like this has happened. Chun Bai was very happy. This was not the first time the demonic sea secret realm trial had happened. In the past, it was always others who mocked him as the sect leader. He had never mocked others before. Today, it seemed like it was his turn to mock these guys. Those are all trash. Jiahua, Bai Shuaula, you three can't be the same as those trash, right? Phoenix in the cloud snorted coldly. Jiahua, Bai Shui, and Wu La smiled bitterly. The three of them walked out of the formation and knelt in front of Chen Bai, Phoenix in the cloud, and the other higher-ups. They said loudly, reporting to the sect leader, vice sect leader, elders, and other higher-ups. The three of us did not get a single demonic crystal. What? Hearing the three's report, Phoenix in the cloud and the first elder's faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. They looked like they were about to flip out. No matter what, They did not expect this situation. Now, everyone was wondering if Ling Xiao had robbed these people of their demonic crystal. That was why they did not get a single demonic crystal, because among all of them, only Ling Xiao had a smug smile on his face. This kid is really daring, but well done. Chun Bai was ecstatic. The Red Witch, Chun Yen, Chun Wan, and the others who were watching from the side shouted loudly, "Scram, scram, scram! I thought so highly of the three of you. I didn't expect the three of you to be trash. Cloud Devil, Cloud Ghost, Cloud Demon. You three won't disappoint us, right?" The first elder shouted angrily and looked at what seemed to be their last hope. These three people were Phoenix in the Cloud, who had abandoned the demonic shadow and forcefully increased his strength. If they also got a 0, it would be too embarrassing. The three of them stepped out of the formation. Cloud Devil said loudly, reporting to the higher-ups, "We got the demonic crystal." "You got it? That's great. Hurry up and bring it over. Let the sect leader broaden his horizons and let him know that you guys aren't comparable to that trash of a disciple of his." Phoenix in the Cloud was so excited that she didn't even think or analyze Cloud Devil's words. She just said what was on her mind. Cloud Demon and the other two exchanged glances. In the end, they stepped forward and handed over 5 magic energy stones each. That's it. Yun Zhongfeng was on the verge of exploding upon seeing this. "Bastard, what's the difference between this and not getting it? Tell me, what happened? Why is it like this?" Phoenix in the Cloud roared angrily. A terrifying aura spread throughout the square. Many martial artists who were in the midst of discussion shut their mouths in fear. "Aya, Brother Yin, don't be so angry. Anger is bad for your body." Even if the children couldn't do it, she should continue to believe in them. She shouldn't lose her temper so easily. See if it's because she didn't teach them well and wants to find fault with herself. Although Chun Bai's words were a little strange, Phoenix in the Cloud couldn't refute it, because these were the same words he said to Chun Bai in the past. Now, Chun Bai was giving him a taste of his own medicine. "Sect leader, I'm not angry. I just want to investigate this matter and see if someone broke the rules." Phoenix in the Cloud looked coldly at Ling Xiao, then continued to stare at Cloud Devil and the other two. "Tell me, what happened?" Cloud Devil was about to speak when Yunlan suddenly said loudly, "Master, do you still need to ask? Of course it was that guy Ling Xiao who stole it. I don't know what kind of treasure that guy obtained from the sect master, but he didn't lose any strength in the demonic sea secret realm. Furthermore, he and that bird beside him ambushed us and stole all of our demonic energy crystals. This is a violation of the rules. It's cheating. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say such things." "You mean that I helped Ling Xiao cheat?" Chun Bai said coldly, and a terrifying murderous aura shrouded Yunlan. "Sect leader, although Yunlan's words are a little overboard, it's not impossible." Phoenix in the Cloud blocked the murderous aura for Yunlan and said. At that moment, people in the crowd nodded. "The sect leader is the most familiar with the demonic sea secret realm. If he helped Ling Xiao cheat, it's possible." Yes. If that's the case, then the sect leader is too biased. Who would be willing to serve the dragon cult in the future? Such discussions suddenly sounded, and Chun Bai's face turned ugly. However, he couldn't explain this matter. Even if he killed Yunlan, he would lose the hearts of the people. "Ha! Mad dogs really do know how to bite people." Suddenly, a wild laughter mixed with a valiant sound martial skill instantly spread throughout the entire square, and those discussions came to an abrupt end. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. If it wasn't Ling Xiao, who else could it be? "Ling Xiao, who are you calling a mad dog?" Yunlan shouted angrily. "Who else could it be other than you? You refused to admit defeat after losing the trial, and you started to bite people. In this world, there's something called evidence. You have to be responsible for your words. As long as you have evidence or witnesses, I'll get out of the dragon cult immediately." I won't stay any longer, lest I tarnish the sect leader's reputation. However, if you don't have evidence or witnesses, then you're slandering the sect leader. You know what kind of crime that is. Do you still remember how the third sect leader died? Ling Xiao looked at Yunlan indifferently and said coldly, "Sure, I have plenty of witnesses." Yunlan said proudly, "Do you think you can scare our people with your threats? Dream on. You said that if I have witnesses, you'll get out of the dragon cult immediately, right?" "That's right." Ling Xiao nodded, and a cruel sneer flashed across his eyes. Since Yunlan wanted to die, he couldn't stop him. "Fine, if you dare to swear, so do I. If you don't have witnesses or evidence, I, Yunlan, am at your disposal." Yunlan said loudly, "That doesn't count. If you don't have evidence, then you're guilty of slandering the sect leader. Of course, you'll be at his disposal. You have to bet something else." Ling Xiao said indifferently, "If he doesn't have evidence, then I'll quit as the vice sect leader. Is that okay?" Phoenix in the Cloud suddenly said. He had already confirmed that Ling Xiao had robbed those people of their magical crystals. As long as there was one person who could prove it, then it would be a witness. Therefore, this was a bet that he couldn't lose. No matter what he said, it wouldn't be a problem. "Sai, I can't dismiss you because of this. How about this? Don't you have a jar of good fire dragon brew? If you lose this time, then give this fire dragon brew to Ling Xiao. How about it?" Chapter 28:13. Although the fire dragon brew was a type of wine, it was very effective against the dark night. When Ling Xiao heard this, he couldn't help but be surprised. It seemed like Chun Bai had always been concerned about the dark night. "Sure." Phoenix in the Cloud nodded and immediately asked Cloud Devil, Cloud Ghost, and Cloud Demon to stand out. "The three of you, tell me what happened. It's best if you tell me everything. If you lie, I won't forgive you." "Vice sect leader, we wouldn't dare to lie." Cloud Devil and the other two looked at each other and exchanged glances. They had already discussed what to say before the trial ended. Naturally, they wouldn't be exposed. Reporting to the higher-ups, the main reason why things didn't go smoothly this time was because of the appearance of the demonic sea beast emperor. Cloud Devil said, "That's right. For some reason, the demonic sea beast emperor suddenly entered the demonic sea secret realm. It's already very difficult for us to escape. How could we have the time to get the demonic crystal?" Cloud Ghost said, "In all honesty, we've already tried our best. There's really no other way. What nonsense." Phoenix in the Cloud thought that the three of them would criticize Ling Xiao in public. In the end, they replied in such a way that made him furious. "Master, please investigate this matter. We wouldn't dare to lie." Cloud Devil, Cloud Ghost, and Cloud Demon knelt down and said, "I didn't expect the three of you to encounter the same problem. Actually, we were the same. We were chased by the demonic sea beast emperor. We could only hide and didn't dare to come out." Wu lost it out and said, "Yeah, that guy is too terrifying. Vice sect leader, you should know that even you wouldn't dare to go against the demonic sea beast emperor. In order to save our lives, we could only give up the trial." Bai Shui said, "There's still another chance if you give up the trial. But if you die, you won't be able to serve the dragon cult anymore." Cunning added, "So that's the demonic sea beast emperor. No wonder it's so powerful. I almost died." Someone else spoke up. "Yeah, I was scared to death. I fainted in one move. If it weren't for my good luck, I wouldn't have made it back alive." The 31 disciples were all telling the truth. However, the Devil Sea Beast Kings they were talking about were actually Ling Xiao and Little Gold. But because he had indeed been beaten up, and very badly at that, it sounded very real, and people couldn't help but believe it. However, Yun Lan and Phoenix in the Cloud's expressions didn't look too good. "Tuoba Yunxiang, how many magic energy crystals did you get?" Phoenix in the Cloud suddenly asked Tuoba Yunxiang. "Yes, about 100 or so." Tuoba Yunxiang replied, 100. With your strength, this shouldn't be the case. Phoenix in the cloud frowned. Vice sect leader, I also encountered a demonic sea beast emperor, so I was too hasty. Tuoba Yunxiang said indifferently. Although he was not affected by Ling Xiao's soul-sucking technique, he was still willing to help Ling Xiao. Perhaps this was what they meant by no discord, no concord. Moreover, he was still hoping that Ling Xiao could help him escape from the clutches of tyrannical saber, ghostly. You. Yunlan's face turned ashen. Why didn't I encounter a demonic sea beast emperor? You still have the face to say that? In order to snatch the molten fire core from me, you have been fighting with me. Where did you find the time to encounter a demonic sea beast emperor? Right at this moment, Mu Qing spoke bluntly. What's going on, Mu Qing? Xiao Mu asked coldly. She could pretend that she didn't see many things, but Mu Qing was her disciple. She definitely wouldn't allow anyone to bully her. No, it's nothing. Yunlan hurriedly shook her head. Mu Qing also remained silent. It seemed that she had something she couldn't say. Hee. Since Mu Qing doesn't want to say it, I'll say it for her. This Yunlan said that he wanted to force himself on Mu Qing and take her for himself, just like what Vice Sect leader Yin did to Vice Sect leader Xiao. Mu Qing didn't dare to say it, but Ling Xiao wasn't afraid. He reckoned that Chen Bai still didn't know what had happened in the past. Bastard! How dare you slander me like that? Phoenix in the cloud shouted angrily. Her body flashed, and she directly charged towards Ling Xiao. However, before she could run a few meters, she was stopped by Xiao Mu. Phoenix in the cloud, don't you think that you've embarrassed yourself enough? You've already lost the bet with Ling Xiao. Let's put our matter aside first. Wait, if you want to say it, then say it now. Is what Ling Xiao said true? What happened in the past? Chen Bai's face was extremely terrifying. If Xiao Mu had fallen in love with someone else, he could still accept it. However, if Phoenix in the cloud had used some special means to get Xiao Mu, he definitely couldn't accept it. Big brother, there's nothing to say. It's been so many years. No matter what happened, let it rot in the river of time. Xiao Mu turned her head and looked at Chen Bai. Her eyes were filled with pain and helplessness, because she knew very well that once she said what happened in the past, everything would be irreparable. Third sister, Chen Bai sighed helplessly. He didn't know why Xiao Mu would do that. However, if Xiao Mu didn't admit it, what other people said didn't count. Then, what reason did he have to attack Phoenix in the cloud? Forget it. Let's not talk about this. Yunlan, you just said that I cheated. What else do you have to say now? Although he couldn't attack because Xiao Mu was in front of him, he still had other ways to make Phoenix in the cloud suffer. Disciple. No, they're all talking nonsense. Why would the demonic sea beast king suddenly come out to cause trouble? It has been staying in the depths of the demonic sea secret realm all this time. Until now, Yunlan still didn't give up. After all, once he was convicted of slander, he would be at Chen Bai's mercy. Phoenix in the cloud was unwilling to give her fire dragon wine to Ling Xiao. Hence, she said coldly, this matter needs to be investigated. These people might not be telling the truth. This fella didn't even believe his own people at such a crucial moment. Hee. You're saying that the demonic sea beast king has been staying in the depths of the demonic sea secret realm all this time? Don't be ridiculous. Now that the demonic sea beast king has escaped from the demonic sea secret realm, the demonic sea secret realm will no longer be special. Ling Xiao sneered and said, If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look. Disciple, are you serious? Chen Bai frowned and asked, How would I dare to lie? The reason why the demonic sea beast king is causing trouble is probably to find a place to escape. Ling Xiao replied. The golden crow remnant's soul had been swallowed by Xiao Jin. Hence, The demonic sea beast king naturally didn't exist anymore. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the reason he randomly made up. Let's go. Let's go and take a look. Chunbai, Phoenix in the Cloud, Xiaomuyu and Domineering Blade ghostly entered the demonic sea secret realm. After about 20 minutes, they returned to the square. Chapter 28:14. Me. How is this possible? Yunlan could not believe that this was actually true. However, Yun Zhongfeng's expression seemed to have become even uglier. It was as if something else had been affected by this unforeseen event. It had caused a flaw in one of his plans, causing him to feel extremely displeased. He suddenly attacked and kicked Yunlan. Yunlan vomited blood on the spot and fell to the ground, looking at Phoenix in the Cloud in horror. Phoenix in the Cloud continued to attack and beat Yunlan until he was almost dead. Only then did the first elder and the others hypocritically stop him. Sect leader, Yunlan has committed a serious crime by slandering you. However, he is now half dead. Shouldn't you forgive him? The first elder said. Yes, sect leader. Please be merciful. After all, Yunlan is the #1 genius of the dragon cult. He is second only to Qin Sangxiang. An elder also stood out and said, Phoenix in the Cloud's move was really well played. He took the initiative to attack Yunlan. Naturally, he could make sure that his strength was appropriate. Although Yunlan was also in a miserable state, he would not die. This also won the sympathy of the higher-ups. Although Chunbai wanted to kill Yunlan on the spot, he had no other choice. After all, he was the sect leader. He could not act as he pleased like Ling Xiao. Where is the fire dragon brew? Chunbai looked at Phoenix in the Cloud and asked. Phoenix in the Cloud took out a jar of fire dragon brew from his storage ring and threw it to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao caught it and laughed. Vice sect leader Yin, you tried your best to protect Yunlan today. However, you could not stop that trash from seeking his own death. I hope that you can discipline him more strictly. Otherwise, there will still be problems. Humph. Phoenix in the Cloud snorted coldly. At this moment, he hated Ling Xiao to the core. However, Chunbai and Xiaomuyu were present. Even if he wanted to kill Ling Xiao, there was no chance at all. All right, since this matter is over, Mu Qing, take out the magic crystals you obtained. Chunbai said as he looked at Mu Qing. Although he didn't manage to kill Yunlan, Yunlan would need to rest for at least 1 or 2 months to recover. After such a long time, Ling Xiao's strength had probably long surpassed his. Furthermore, he even managed to get his hands on the fire dragon brew that Phoenix in the Cloud had always been reluctant to part with. This time, it was actually quite worth it. Therefore, there was no need to dwell on this matter. Mu Qing hesitated for a moment before finally taking out 400 magic energy stones. This was because she had heard from Ling Xiao that Ling Xiao had 500 magic energy stones. She didn't want to cause trouble for Ling Xiao. Just think of it as repaying Ling Xiao for saving my life. Because of Yunlan's attack, I didn't have much time to look for magic energy stones. Later, the demonic sea beast emperor appeared, so I didn't have that much time. So I only got this much. Mu Qing explained. Not bad. So far, you've got the most magic energy stones. Chunbai said with a smile. Ling Xiao, you're the only one left. Take out your magic energy stones and let everyone see. After Mu Qing left, Ling Xiao looked at Ling Xiao and said, Wait. Phoenix in the Cloud suddenly said, Sect Master, although Yunlan committed a capital crime, he still participated in the trial. He can't be excluded, right? What right does he have to participate in the trial rankings with such a serious crime? Chunbai said coldly, Master, since he wants to participate in the trial rankings, just give him a chance. Otherwise, everyone will be unconvinced. Since I want to take first place, I have to make everyone obedient. Ling Xiao knew that if he allowed Qin Bai and Phoenix in the Cloud to continue fighting, it would be a waste of time. He might as well take a step back. After all, it was impossible for Yunlan to get more magic energy stones than him. All right, since you've said it, I'll give in to them. Yunlan, take out your magic energy stones. Qin Bai shouted sternly. Yunlan could no longer move by himself. Even so, he could just send a disciple to retrieve the magic energy stones from Yunlan's storage ring. He did not expect Phoenix in the Cloud to retrieve the storage ring personally. Oh no, this old thing is trying to cheat. At that moment, Ling Xiao felt that something was wrong. His Tai Chi eye caught something that others could not. The moment Phoenix in the Cloud put his hand into the storage ring, he put a lot of things into it. Old dog, how shameless! Ling Xiao gritted his teeth and cursed. At that moment, Phoenix in the Cloud had already taken out the items from the storage ring. Wow! As expected of the number 1 senior brother Yunlan. Oh my god! There are 1,000 magic energy stones and 10 demonic sea king crystals. That's amazing. He's definitely number 1. He's already broken his own record. Yeah. No wonder Vice Sect Leader Yin wants senior brother Yunlan to show his results. Hee. Even if Ling Xiao beats senior sister Muqing, he won't be able to beat senior brother Yunlan. At most, he'll get 3rd place. Following the discussions, Phoenix in the Cloud turned around and looked at Ling Xiao with disdain and a cold smile. His meaning was obvious. Aren't you being cocky? Are you going to continue being cocky now? He wanted to see the shock and despair on Ling Xiao's face. However, what he found strange was that although Ling Xiao was shocked, there was no despair on his face. Instead, there was a hint of disdain and mockery. Hee. Vice Sect Leader Yin, you're really something. Ling Xiao suddenly sneered. What do you mean by that? Phoenix in the Cloud said coldly. He firmly believed that no one had noticed his actions just now. I'm sure Vice Sect Leader Yin knows what I'm trying to do. Do you think you can fool everyone by putting the demonic Sea King crystal and the demonic Sea King crystal you obtained in the demonic Sea secret realm into Yunlan's storage ring? Ling Xiao said disdainfully. Hearing this, Phoenix in the Cloud frowned. He didn't expect his actions to be discovered. Impudent! How dare you slander this Vice Sect Master? Phoenix in the Cloud roared, and a terrifying aura engulfed Ling Xiao. What's wrong? Are you angry out of humiliation? Ling Xiao sneered. Humph, Ling Xiao, you better have evidence to back up your words. Otherwise, you're slandering me. What happened to Yunlan will happen to you. Slandering the Vice Sect Leader is the same as slandering the sect leader. The first type of elder snorted. That's right. He must have gotten less magic energy stones than senior brother Yunlan. That's why. Voices of doubt could be heard from the crowd. Ling Xiao, show us your results as soon as possible. Don't make wild guesses here, one of the elders added, because no one thought that Ling Xiao's results could surpass the record. Wild guesses? Hee, let's put this aside for now. We'll talk about it later. No matter what despicable methods you Phoenix in the Cloud use, it's all in vain. Because, in your heart, you're still looking down on me. I'll show you what a real Vice Sect Leader is like. I'll show you what a real champion is like. Chapter 28:15. Vice Sect Leader Yin. I'm untalented and have only achieved a little. In this trial of the demonic sea secret realm, I've obtained a total of 1,500 demonic energy stones and 20 demonic sea monarch crystals. Everyone's arithmetic is correct, so there shouldn't be any suspense as to who will be first, right? Ling Xiao showed his results. An entire place fell silent. A moment later, there was an earth-shattering cheer. Of course, most of the people cheering were from the sect leader's faction, but their voices were loud enough. No one, including Qin Bai, had expected that Ling Xiao, who had participated in the demonic Sea Secret Realms trial for the first time, would actually get first place. Moreover, it was an extremely huge advantage. In this way, the demonic dragon possession naturally belonged to Ling Xiao. Only after Ling Xiao cultivated it would the others be qualified to cultivate it. Moreover, 3 days was a result that had never been achieved before. It could be said that it was an eternal record in the history of the demonic sea secret realm. Now that the demonic sea beast emperor had disappeared and the demonic sea secret realm was collapsing, there would probably not be such a trial in the future. Looking at the high-spirited Ling Xiao standing there, the people's hearts were really complicated. The most excited person was naturally Qinbai. When he accepted this disciple, he was actually quite nervous because of Chen Songxiong's precedent. Moreover, there would definitely be many people in the dragon cult who would suppress Ling Xiao. He was completely uncertain whether Ling Xiao could make a name for himself. However, today, Ling Xiao used his brilliant results to tell him that his choice back then was not wrong. Not only was it not wrong, but it was also very outstanding. His joy was naturally Phoenix in the cloud's sorrow and anger. He had spent a lot of effort to cheat, risking his face, and did not want to let Ling Xiao win. However, Ling Xiao still won and won so easily. This was simply a ruthless slap to his face. He could not do anything. Phoenix in the cloud was very angry. In his chest, a ball of anger burned uncontrollably. His gaze was fixed on Ling Xiao. It was this brat who had embarrassed him and caused his plans to fail time and time again. In the past, he had never thought of personally killing Ling Xiao because he didn't think it was necessary. However, from today onwards, he felt that it would be more appropriate for him to act personally. As long as Ling Xiao was not eliminated, he would not be able to rest in peace. Sect leader, congratulations. I'm feeling a little unwell, so I'll take my leave first. With that, Phoenix in the cloud prepared to leave with her men. Wait. However, a voice called out to him. Vice Sect Leader Yin, you seem to be a little forgetful. What happened just now hasn't been explained clearly. I don't want to be accused of slandering Vice Sect Leader. The one who spoke was naturally Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao didn't like the saying that one should spare others whenever possible. He only knew what it meant to beat a drowning dog. You. Phoenix in the cloud's face was extremely gloomy. Brat, what are you trying to do? Vice Sect Leader Yin, you're being too serious. I'm not trying to do anything. It's you who helped Yun Lan cheat. Don't you think it's embarrassing? Ling Xiao didn't give Phoenix in the cloud any face. If you don't have evidence, then don't spout nonsense. Phoenix in the cloud said coldly, Who told you that I don't have evidence? Ling Xiao said with a smile. As everyone knows, the storage ring has a small function. It's very practical, but many people only use it on a daily basis and don't pay much attention to it. It's called the time recording function. Every time a batch of items is put in, it will generate a time point. Vice Sect Leader Yin, you just need to check Yin Lan's storage ring to see if he cheated. As soon as he said that, the crowd began to discuss. Yes, it does have such a small function. I almost forgot that it's very useful when organizing things. I've used it before. Not bad, it can indeed prove whether Vice Sect Leader Yin cheated or not. Vice Sect Leader Yin, a clean conscience is not afraid of a crooked shadow. Just let them check. The disciples who didn't know the truth shouted loudly. In their hearts, Vice Sect Leader Yin wasn't so despicable. Phoenix in the cloud's face was extremely gloomy. He suddenly crushed Yun Lan's storage ring and said coldly, No one can suspect me, Phoenix in the cloud. No one. Let's go. His action shocked countless disciples. However, Ling Xiao revealed a victorious smile. Actually, this small function wasn't as useful as he said. He was so confident because he knew Phoenix in the cloud's personality. Phoenix in the cloud would definitely not let them check. And that was the truth. Yun Zhongfeng's act of destroying the storage ring was tantamount to revealing 300 tales of silver here. Looking at Phoenix in the cloud's back, many people cursed in their hearts. This vice sect master's reputation, which was like the sun in the sky, was once again successfully weakened by Ling Xiao. "Sai, disciple, why did you have to do this? This way, you and Phoenix in the cloud will definitely be like fire and water. He won't let you go." Qinbai sighed. "Master, you're wrong. If I didn't do this, he still wouldn't let me go. So, I might as well stomp on this bastard and vent my anger. However, your foster children should be careful. During this period, it's best for them to stay in the Devil Hall and cultivate. Don't go anywhere. Even if it's a little frustrating, you have to prevent Phoenix in the cloud from taking revenge. That despicable and shameless person, there's nothing he doesn't dare to do." "You're right." Qunbai nodded. He also knew that with Ling Xiao's continuous rise, the time for him to completely fall out with Phoenix in the cloud was approaching. "All right, congratulations, my disciple. I'll hand over all the cultivation methods of the demonic dragon possession to you." Qunbai smiled, then announced this matter to everyone. The human heart was a very strange thing. When a person gained power, many people would be willing to follow him because they knew that following him would give them the greatest chance of success. Ever since Ling Xiao came to the dragon cult, he had repeatedly suppressed Phoenix in the Cloud's faction in various matters. This caused many people who were originally wavering to become determined to follow Qunbai. Speaking of which, the number of people who were in the middle was actually the largest. Ling Xiao's success in the Demonic Sea Mystery Realm trial this time was not only due to the increase in strength, but also the acquisition of cultivation methods. More importantly, it was this kind of invisible power. The one who had the power would have the world. When everyone was preparing to leave with very complicated feelings, Qunbai did something that shocked everyone again. This cult leader understood what it meant to strike while the iron was hot. He publicly announced that Ling Xiao would be his successor. After his death, Ling Xiao would directly inherit the position of dragon cult leader. The dragon cult was created by him alone and belonged to him alone. This was the same as those kingdoms and empires. Originally, if Qunbai had a son, the one who would inherit the position of cult leader would definitely be his son. Now he passed the position of cult leader to Ling Xiao, which was absolutely natural. Chapter 28:16. The people who were already preparing to leave began to reevaluate this youth. Ling Xiao had only joined the dragon cult for a little more than a month, but he had already achieved such brilliant results. Although becoming the successor of the dragon cult might be a bit hasty, it was also reasonable. After all, the battle between the dragon cult and the Qin country's royal family was very dangerous. Qunbai could die at any time. Even if he died, the position of cult leader couldn't be left empty. Originally, many people thought that Phoenix in the Cloud was the most suitable candidate to inherit the position of cult leader, but the recent events caused them to have serious doubts about Phoenix in the Cloud's character and ability. Perhaps Ling Xiao, a genius youth who repeatedly set various records in the dragon cult, could really become the most outstanding cult leader in the history of the dragon cult. They were looking forward to it. "Thank you, Master." Ling Xiao didn't reject the position of dragon cult leader. If he wanted to unify the Qin country, the dragon cult had to be a powerful force that he could conquer. As long as he became the cult leader, this wouldn't be a problem. Qunbai had his own plan, and so did Ling Xiao. It was just that his plan was more long-term. What he wanted wasn't the small dragon cult, the small Qin country, or the black tortoise continent. He wanted to unify the entire mystic world. From the moment he set this great ambition, he had been working hard to achieve it. Although the process was extremely dangerous, and he had almost lost his life many times due to various dangers, he had persevered. The Sky Dragon Continent, Divine Phoenix Continent, and White Tiger Continent were already in his hands. This time, it was the Black Tortoise Continent's turn. although the black tortoise continent was larger than the previous 3 continents combined, and its strength was much stronger. But his determination couldn't be shaken. Good, as long as you accept it. Master was afraid that you wouldn't accept it. What do you plan to do next? Qinbai asked. Now that I've obtained the fire dragon brew, I plan to wake up the mountain chieftain first. After that, I'll naturally cultivate the demonic dragon possession. Ling Xiao thought for a moment and said, But Shi Zhuan, that bastard phoenix in the cloud, seems to be plotting something behind our backs. I don't know the details, so you have to be careful. I understand. Qunbai nodded. Phoenix in the cloud had never stopped scheming. In the past, he only had one goal, and that was to kill Qunbai. Now he had another goal, and that was to kill Ling Xiao. Even though he didn't know what Phoenix in the cloud was up to, he was certain of one thing. All right then, if Master doesn't have any other instructions, this disciple will return to the Devil's Son Hall first. Ling Xiao said. He was very anxious now. Dark Knight, formless, had been unconscious for so long. He had to wake up quickly, or his body would degenerate. Go. Qunbai nodded. He also had to make some preparations. Phoenix in the cloud could turn hostile at any time. He definitely couldn't be too passive. After returning to the Devil's Sun Hall, Ling Xiao immediately used the fire dragon brew. He had already thought of a way to save Dark Knight formless. He was just missing the fire dragon brew. Now that everything was gathered, Dark Knight formless successfully woke up in less than half an hour. When family members met, it was naturally very touching. Facing Dark Knight formless confusion, Ling Xiao told him everything that had happened during this period of time. Even though he was anxious to cultivate, he still maintained absolute patience. Dark Knight formless had done him a great favor, and he would never be able to repay it in this lifetime. How could he be tired of it? Everything that happened was too unbelievable. I didn't expect you to be so strong. It seems that I didn't misjudge you. Ling Xiao, I need to calm down and think about the past. If you want to cultivate, go quickly. Don't delay because of me. Dark Knight formless was happy for Ling Xiao, but the large amount of information made him a little dazed. He had to organize it properly. Mountain Lord, this dragon cult isn't very safe. Try not to leave the Devil's Sun Hall. Otherwise, I can't predict what will happen. Ling Xiao reminded. Don't worry, I won't cause you any trouble. Dark Knight formless smiled. Little Gold, protect the Mountain Lord. Remember, don't leave him. Ling Xiao turned around and said to Little Gold. The current Little Gold's battle strength had soared to the peak of the Yin-Yang Realm's 12th level of hell. He was definitely his trump card. If someone really tried to sneak into the Devil's Sun Hall to ambush Dark Knight formless, there would only be one outcome: death. Boss, don't worry. Even if I die, I won't let anything happen to the Mountain Lord. Ba. One of you is my benefactor, and the other is my good brother. None of you can die. If you can't handle it, call me. Ling Xiao glared at Little Gold and said unhappily, Hee boss, I'm just saying. Go and cultivate. Little Gold chuckled. Ling Xiao nodded and returned to his cultivation room. He wanted to refine the Purple Lightning Yin Thunder essence. Although he couldn't condense the Purple Lightning Yin Thunder battle form yet, his cultivation would be able to break through after refining the Purple Lightning Yin Thunder essence. He urgently needed to improve his strength now. As for the Purple Lightning Yin Thunder battle form, he could take it slow. The Purple Lightning Yin Thunder essence was a terrifying existence that even the 9 underworlds, Yellow Springs, Golden Light, couldn't melt. It contained rich purple lightning Yin Thunder Chi. It could be said that the entire thing was a treasure. Without any hesitation, Ling Xiao swallowed this thing into his stomach. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be so crazy because the terrifying low temperature would freeze them to death in an instant. Ling Xiao wasn't afraid. The moment he swallowed the Purple Lightning Yin Thunder essence, He felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. It was as if his whole body was about to freeze. However, his body was naturally able to generate a blazing heat to resist the low temperature. He had the beginner volcanic battle form and 3 kinds of divine fires in his body. Although the purple lightning thunder essence was terrifying, it didn't mean much to him. Refine. But even so, it wouldn't be good for his body to resist it for a long time. So he seized the time to refine the purple lightning thunder essence, which would be of great help to him. The refining process was very simple. Ling Xiao's body was a furnace. The purple lightning thunder essence was constantly being melted in the fire, and then it turned into a pure aura that seeped into every corner of Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's cultivation, also began to fill up. All of this seemed to have happened naturally. The entire process was so easy that even Ling Xiao was surprised. His cultivation base had successfully broken through to the middle of the 12th level of hell after an hour. He was close to the late stages of the 12th level of hell. It's a pity that I wasn't able to break through 2 small boundaries. Master, what you said wasn't very reliable. Ling Xiao was naturally speaking to the Yuan Venerate. You can't blame me for this. It's your cultivation that contains too much energy. If it had been anyone else, they would have been able to break through 3 whole boundaries. But you can only break through 1 boundary. However, every time you break through, you will definitely be much stronger than martialists of the same boundary. There is no doubt about this. Chapter 28:17. Ling Xiao could still accept the Yuan Venerate's explanation. He had always been able to challenge people of a higher grade because his internal strength was stronger than other martialists of the same grade. Forget it. Being able to reach the mid-stage of the 12th level of the infernal realm was already pretty good. It had only been 1 trial in the demonic sea mystic realm, yet he had already broken through a major boundary. Anyone who heard of this would treat it as a miracle. About 2 months ago, Chen Sangxiong's cultivation had only been at this level. In these 2 months, given Chen Sangxiong's aptitude and talent, as well as the nurturing of the Chen nation's 5 elders, he would definitely have made a breakthrough. He might even have reached the peak of the 12th level of the infernal realm. Ling Xiao knew very well that others couldn't stop advancing while he was improving. It was just that his speed of improvement was faster. 2 months ago, he had needed to use the bloody rat devil art. Furthermore, Chen Sangxiong had been in a hurry to end the battle and had shown a flaw. That was how he had been able to turn the tables. However, that had been a fluke. Actually, his chances of winning back then had been less than 10%. However, if he were to meet Chen Sangxiong again, his chances of winning would definitely be more than 50%. This was progress. Even if the people around him were also improving, it would be enough as long as he improved faster. What he needed to do next was to cultivate the demonic dragon possession and ultimately obtain the demonic dragon sword. The demonic dragon sword was also a mortal grade Dharch weapon like the Blood Thunder Emperor sword and the 8 immortal swords. However, even weapons of the same grade had differences in quality. The demonic dragon sword was one of the most outstanding weapons. Only it could contend with the Qin nation's king sword. Although that sword had many names, such as the Thunder Emperor's sword and the Emperor's sword, it still referred to that one sword. The Thunder Attribute King sword. As long as he could obtain the demonic dragon sword, Ling Xiao wouldn't lose to Chen Sangxiong in terms of weapons. He had a grudge against the Chen nation's royal family, but more importantly, he wanted to take the Chen nation for himself. This was his grand ambition. He would destroy anyone who dared to obstruct him. He was a tyrant, not a benevolent king. A tyrant was needed to conquer the world. A king was more suitable to govern the world. Conquering the state of Chen was just a small step on his path to becoming a hegemon. Not to mention the profound world. Even the Black Tortoise continent was filled with experts and countless countries. In the entire Black Tortoise continent, this tiny Qin country was merely the lowest-ranked country. Even in the western regions, the state of Chen was only ranked at the bottom among the tens of thousands of countries. It was mentioned earlier that the ones who truly controlled the western region were the 9 forces, known as the 9 Supremes. The Chen nation was meant for him to practice his skills. If he couldn't even take down the Chen nation, there was no need to even think about the other powerful nations around it. As for the 9 Supremes, he could forget about it. As for the 2 women that Ling Xiao missed the most, one of them was in the golden, heavenly nation. One was in the palace of eternal life. Needless to say, the immortal palace was the core of the Black Tortoise continent. It was the strongest force and also the last force that Ling Xiao would conquer. Although the golden heavenly nation was not as powerful as the palace of eternal life, it was more terrifying than the 9 Supremes of the West. The reincarnation of the Moon Lady, Yu Fanghua, had returned to the immortal palace to participate in the examination. There was still no news of her, but it was useless to worry. The immortal palace was too far away from him. As for the golden heavenly nation, where the divine codex was, it was also unreachable. Because of these expectations, his desire for strength was stronger than anyone else's. Of course, he wouldn't be afraid, nor would he lose confidence. He had the strongest martial spirit in the profound world. As long as he didn't slack off and persevered, there would be a day when he would reach the peak of the Black Tortoise continent and the profound world. As for Xiao Jin, it was the most terrifying existence in the Black Tortoise continent. It was the product of devouring the demon fetus and the golden crow's soul. There was no need for them to be afraid. After breaking through, Ling Xiao calmed down and began to study the demonic dragon possession. In fact, this kind of support-type martial arts was much easier to cultivate than the demonic dragon phantom movement technique. Ling Xiao quickly grasped the knack and began to immerse himself in it. If there was someone else present, they would definitely see a black demonic dragon circling above Ling Xiao's head. At the same time, in the demonic dragon city's vice sect leader's residence, the construction here wasn't inferior to the demon palace at all. After so many years, Phoenix in the Cloud had actually controlled the dragon cult. Although Chanbai wasn't completely taken over, it was close. However, the series of events that had happened since then had caused him to suffer heavy losses. Not only did he fail to kill Qinbai, but he also made Qinbai's reputation stronger than before. This was something he didn't expect. And the culprit behind all of this was the small fry that he had once looked down on, Ling Xiao. When Ling Xiao first arrived at the dragon cult, they actually thought that he was a fake. Looking back now, it was really laughable. In a secret room in the residence, there were about 10 people sitting upright. They were all Phoenix in the Cloud's diehard fans. Other than himself, there was also the first sect elder, Domineering Blade, Ghost Li, Yunlan, and a mysterious person dressed in a blue robe that covered his face. There were also a few helm leaders of the dragon cult. Don't underestimate these helm leaders. Because they had been away for a long time, it was hard to notice them. However, only the first sect elder knew that any one of these helm leaders was stronger than him. Among these people, he was the weakest. If it wasn't for the fact that he had some power in his hands, he probably wouldn't be qualified to participate in such a meeting. Why didn't you let Cloud Devil, Cloud Ghost, Cloud Demon, Woola, White Blood, and Delicate Flower come? These 6 little guys have reached the age where they can be of great use. The first sect elder asked curiously. Among all the disciples, only Yunlan, who was severely injured, was present. This was too illogical. Let's not let them participate for now. I keep feeling that something is wrong with this demonic sea secret realm trial. Let's conduct a secret investigation on them first. After confirming that there are no problems, let's let them participate in this important meeting. Phoenix in the Cloud was indeed a sly old fox. He was very cautious. Although he didn't have any evidence to prove that those people had betrayed him, based on his years of experience, He decided that it was better to hide some things from them. That's good too. The first sect elder sighed in his heart. He was still inferior to Phoenix in the Cloud. Yunlan, how do you feel? Phoenix in the Cloud suddenly looked at the injured Yunlan and asked, "Thank you for the healing pill, Master. My injuries are almost healed." Yunlan replied. Phoenix in the Cloud said with satisfaction, "That's good. Actually, you can't be blamed for this matter. That Ling Xiao exuded an evil aura. Even I have underestimated him a little. Thinking about it carefully, when he wreaked havoc in Thunder City, he was actually able to escape from the 7 generals of the Sky Thunder Legion and Qin Sangxiong. If he didn't have some ability, it was almost impossible. Moreover, General Purple Thunder was killed by him. It is said that even Qin Sangxiong was defeated by him. Chapter 28:18. After Ling Xiao killed the Thunder Seigneur, he fought with the Chen Guo's Elder Kong. Not only did he escape unscathed, he even injured Elder Kong. This kid's strength really can't be judged based on his cultivation. It's not unjust that you lost to him. Although Phoenix in the Cloud was furious, he had no choice but to admit that Ling Xiao was strong. Ling Xiao was much stronger than he had imagined. This kid was definitely not someone easy to deal with. Master, you don't have to boost the morale of others and diminish your own prestige. If it was a one-on-one battle, he definitely wouldn't be this disciple's opponent. Yunlan was still unconvinced. Of course, it's just that this kid is very cunning. Even if you want to fight him one-on-one, he might not fight you one-on-one. Don't be fooled by his impulsive appearance. This kid is actually very cunning. He will only fight when he is sure that he can defeat his opponent. Otherwise, he will use his movement technique that even I don't understand to escape. Phoenix in the Cloud frowned. Brother Yin, since you asked me to participate in this meeting today, then I must say something. This Ling Xiao has already become our common problem. He is a thorn in our side, a thorn in our flesh. If we don't get rid of him, I'm afraid there will be endless troubles in the future. You guys have heard the news that just came, right? Chen Bai has already announced his identity as the successor of the dragon cult to him. In other words, if Chen Bai dies, he can immediately inherit the position of the cult leader. In my opinion, this Ling Xiao is more difficult to deal with than Chen Bai. His strength might not be as good as Chen Bai's, but if he gets the demon dragon sword, then it's hard to say. If we want to kill him, we have to do it as soon as possible. The one who spoke was the mysterious person in the blue robe. Old brother is right. This kid is really too cunning. I worked so hard for so many years to make Chen Bai a mere figurehead. I definitely can't let him take the fruits of my labor. Otherwise, wouldn't I become a laughingstock for no reason? Phoenix in the Cloud said coldly, and that bird beside him, we must kill it as well. We've all overlooked the existence of that bird, but in reality, its threat is no less than Ling Xiao's. Yunlan suddenly said, in the demonic sea secret realm, that bird actually managed to stop me with a single move. Although it was a sneak attack at that time, Disciple could feel how terrifying that bird was. There's such a thing. Looks like this Ling Xiao is really not easy to deal with. Although I really want to destroy him, I don't have a foolproof plan. The first sect elder frowned his eyebrows. It's time to use that person. Phoenix in the Cloud suddenly snorted. That person. Everyone looked at Phoenix in the Cloud in confusion. To tell you the truth, I've already considered the possibility of such a situation happening a long time ago. Just in case, I planted 2 spies beside Chen Bai, one in the light and one in the dark. Now it's time for them to act. Phoenix in the Cloud sneered. Are you going to kill the sect leader? The first sect elder asked. No, how can Chen Bai be so easily ambushed? The person I'm going to kill this time is Dark Knight Formless. Phoenix in the Cloud sneered. I've investigated Ling Xiao for a long time. His only weakness is that he's too loyal. Will kill Dark Knight Formless silently. His mind will be in a mess, and he won't be in the mood to cultivate. This way, he won't have anything to be afraid of, and will have more opportunities to target him. Wonderful! This is a wonderful plan. I know that back in the Qin Nation, Yi Liuli of the Yi family captured the two little girls by Ling Xiao's side. This Ling Xiao actually killed Yi Liuli without any regard for the consequences. If it wasn't for Ji-hyun of Silla's muddle-headedness and protecting that kid would be dead already. What's certain is that once Dark Knight Formless dies, Ling Xiao will definitely be in a mess. It'll be very easy to kill him then. The blue-robed man chuckled. Speaking of which, Brother Yin, in terms of cunning, even 10 Ling Xiaos added together can't compare to you. Brother, you flatter me. The two of us are in the same boat. Phoenix in the cloud laughed. Ha ha ha, then that's it. I'll take my leave first. I'll wait for Vice Sect Leader Yun's good news. The blue-robed man laughed loudly and turned to leave. Bah! Who do you think you are? If I didn't want to use you to deal with Qin Bai, why would I cooperate with the Qin Nation's royal family? As soon as the blue-robed man left, Phoenix in the cloud spat on the ground and cursed. Don't worry, Master. As long as we control the dragon cult, those idiots from the Qin Nation's royal family will die sooner or later. Yun Lan laughed. Let's not talk about this anymore. As for the assassination of Dark Knight Formless, Master will personally arrange it. How's the thing I asked you to do? Phoenix in the cloud suddenly asked Yun Lan. Master, this matter was going very smoothly. Using the treasure you gave me, I captured more than 10 Devil Sea Beast Kings. Unfortunately, for some reason, the Devil Sea Beast Kings disappeared. I'm afraid our plan will have to be put on hold. Yun Lan said helplessly. Humph! It must be that Ling Xiao's doing again. This kind of situation has never happened before. As soon as he participated in the trial, the Devil Sea Beast Kings disappeared. Phoenix in the cloud coldly snorted. However, although more than 10 Devil Sea Beast Kings aren't enough, it's enough to complete our experiment. This time, let Cloud Devil and the others be the test subjects, including that Mu Qing. That girl actually dares to side with Ling Xiao. If I don't teach her a lesson, she won't know how powerful I am. Master, she's indeed a slut. But wouldn't it be a waste to use her as a test subject? Yun Lan asked. Don't worry. I naturally know what you're thinking. I'll make sure you have a taste of her before that. Phoenix in the cloud chuckled. Thank you for your help, Master. Yun Lan revealed an excited smile. In the Devil Prince's hall, Ling Xiao was cultivating. He didn't know what had happened in Phoenix in the cloud's residence. The cultivation of the Devil Dragon possession was easier than he had imagined. Perhaps it was because he had cultivated the Devil Dragon Phantom Movement Technique and the Devil Fairy Sword Shadow, 2 immortal grade, 3rd Heaven Martial skills. Therefore, with some experience, it was easier for him to cultivate compared to ordinary people. The so-called Devil Dragon possession was to summon the Devil Dragon's Qi to attach to one's body to enhance one's combat power. There were 5 types of Devil Dragons, which represented defense, inner strength, speed, soul force, and attack power. When the Devil Dragon possession was cultivated to the 1st level, one could summon a Devil Dragon and choose to upgrade any one of the 5 abilities. Moreover, the ability would be doubled. When the Devil Dragon possession was cultivated to the 2nd level, one could summon 2 Devil Dragons at the same time and upgrade 2 abilities at the same time. Moreover, the ability would be doubled. When the Devil Dragon possession was cultivated to the 3rd level, one could summon all 5 Devil Dragons at the same time and upgrade 5 abilities at the same time. Moreover, the ability would be quadrupled. Ling Xiao had been cultivating for more than an hour, but he had only cultivated to the 1st level, which allowed him to summon a Devil Dragon. However, this was already very powerful. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.